Hello, my friends. This is Macil Duncan, and welcome to the show. We're broadcasting live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, here in the streetlevel.com studios, and we appreciate all you that are liking and sharing the show. Um, let's see. Here comes the music. Good afternoon, my friends. Wonderful day today here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We had a wonderful meeting. Just give you a quick update. We will be expanding the show. Got some more stations that are picking up the Macil Duncan radio show. More to come, but very good meeting today. Plus, that means more revenue to feed the hungry. We're excited about those that are wanting to partner with the Ampersand Food Pantry, and we just had a great group of homeschool kids here. They're making bags similar to this one that have toilet paper, bottled water, protein bars, things of that nature, hygiene items, a New Testament. We go around, and we'll be going down again this Friday to a place in Chattanooga area where homeless people reside. Some are veterans, and they don't have much to live for. So we get to go and talk with them, pray with them, and provide them resources in bags such as this, or sometimes just in a gallon Ziploc bag, depending on what's donated. So if you would like to help us, go to www.appersandbaptist.com. That's appersandbaptist.com. Go to the finance section, and please make a generous donation and help us feed the hungry. Well, I'm excited to tell you that there's a lot of good news going on, but I will be talking about a couple of things today that might interest you. One is CERN. What is going on with CERN? CERN. Are you even aware? Now, the one thing is some call it the God particle. Others, like Elon Musk, call it a demonic gathering. And then I found the 7 warnings of CERN, and the guy that won the Nobel Prize, I believe, in 1993, used the D word, God, and it's not his last name, called it the GD particle that CERN will help determine and help us find the God particles of the universe. Very interesting stuff. You don't want to miss that part of the show. I thought I'd open up, though, with a very kind of a relevant story. Many of you have heard about these two parents that have caught themselves in a mess because of their kid.
The sentence of this court that you serve 10 to 15 years.
James and Jennifer Crumbly were each given nearly the maximum penalty for involuntary manslaughter.
Repeated acts or lack of acts that could have halted an oncoming runaway train.
In court, families of the young victims delivered emotional impact statements.
I remain a shell of the person that I used to be.
They explained how their world was shattered when 15-year-old Ethan Crumbly opened fire inside a Michigan high school in 2021, killing 4 and wounding 7.
I was forced to do the worst possible thing a parent could do. I was forced to say goodbye to my medicine.
Crumbly pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life. His parents were later charged for failing to lock up the handgun he used. Both were found guilty.
This could be any parent up here in my shoes.
The trials focused heavily on whether the Crumblies did enough to address their son's mental health issues.
I was not aware of, or that he was planning it, or that he obtained access to the firearms in my house.
So the bottom line is a kid that evidently had a history of mental illness was allowed to get access to a handgun. The parents did not lock up. That's their crime, their one and only crime. Not to make an exception for them at all, but children were killed. So that opens up the door. Pandora's box is now open. Parents are now, there's a precedent. You can be held liable for your child's actions. Now, we're living in a world of parents not wanting to discipline their kids. Timeouts and, say your words slowly, all that stuff. They don't spank anymore. They don't have any hard disciplines. So children today that are kind of running a little bit more rampant than in decades past, now parents are probably going to maybe backlash a little bit towards some of the ones that say you can't. Dr. Spock is an idiot. Don't read that book. But I'm just here to tell you, very sad all the way around, all the way around. And the father did himself no favors because he kept making threats that once he got out of here, that he was a martyr, he was going to go after the judge and the DA and people, not necessarily to kill them, but it made him look a little crazy. So he probably heaped coal on the fire. It wasn't a smart move. And then his final statement I was watching yesterday, he sounded very contrite. Within his last two sentences, he kind of flared up and took a shot. And I'm going, dude, you just sent yourself to prison big time. And he did. The mom, his wife, and he will be getting pretty much close to the maximum. So it's something to keep in mind. And your Second Amendment rights, do you feel any violation was caused here? Just my opinion is they should have had the gun locked up. If you have someone in your home that has any kind of mental illness, and I'll even throw in dementia there. If you have any senior adult in your home and they're suffering with memory loss, don't have weapons that they can get hold of. They may forget who you are. They can bring harm to you or yourself. So if anyone has any record of mental illness, I think you should really consider either removing the guns completely or making sure you have proper procedures. Now, I've gone through all the gun training at my gun club I'm a member at. And what you do is you go through the training, and it's good to get recertified. I like to go through the training every so often just to remind yourself in case anything has come up. Now, there's 38 states of the 50 here in America that have pretty much a similar gun laws, if you will. But I'll tell you, 3 states you don't want to carry a gun in. Don't take a gun to D.C. That's a district. It's not a state. Don't take a gun into the state of New York or Oregon. I would highly not, or probably even California or Michigan. The major high blue level states, they're going to take this and run with it. And my concern is in the future, they'll hold parents accountable with things that maybe they could not have controlled. But we'll see. We will see. Well, meanwhile, in the Senate, see what you think what's going on.
We're hoping to bring you this video within seconds. Breaking news from inside the Capitol building. Anti-Israel protesters just shut down the largest cafeteria on the Senate side, and they were chanting, according to our producers there, and they were saying that the Capitol Police are chanting everybody out or be placed under arrest, and the protesters were shouting back,
"Oh my God!"
This is the house of the people. The Senate can't eat until Gaza eats.
So, I've got to ask, why, if you watched some of the January 6th footage, there were a lot of peaceful folks just walking around, and they're getting arrested for touching things and for just walking through the Capitol. These folks have protested not just today, but listen, they were protesting in a chamber. No arrest.
Fox News has now learned that many of those activists are the same ones who interrupted Secretary Lloyd Austin's testimony earlier today during a Senate Armed Services hearing that was looking into the military budget.
So what we've got here is rules for thee and not for me. Another leftist insurrection screaming anti-Israel protesters shut down the Senate cafeteria. Okay? Now, if this was January 6th people, or if you're too patriotic, they put you in the gulag. But you can be anti-Israel and you can shut down. You can actually go into parts of the Capitol and shut it down as long as it's not patriotic, and it's okay. It's bravo by the media, bravo by the Capitol Police, and bravo by the Senate. But don't you dare go into that Capitol saying you love your country. On Tuesday, anti-Israel mob with Falk's bloodied hands, they did their hands, swarmed and shut down the cafeteria in the Senate office building. The group sang and chanted, "Senate can't eat until Gaza eats." Well, they probably all could lose a little weight. I know I could. Demands from the protesters include Senate endorsing a ceasefire and a restoration of UNRWA funding and end of military aid to Israel. Now let's think back. Who runs the Senate right now? Oh, the Democrats. Who is the Senate majority leader? Chuck Schumer. Oh, that's right. Chuck Schumer just recently called for Netanyahu to either step down or have a new election. So what's going on? The Democrats are really trying to win over the anti-Israel vote with the upcoming election. This is nothing but a stunt and a ploy. Very sad. And to me, it throws in the face the hypocrisy that's in Washington. Let's move on. Not too happy with what you see there, are you? J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, says to stop oil and gas projects is wrong and enormously naive. The CEO warns of danger of stagflation in letter to shareholders, and I have to agree. Let's look a little more. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Jamie Dimon steered J.P. Morgan through a difficult last year with the largest American bank involved in a string of lawsuits regarding its long-standing commercial relationship with the late convicted sex offender and alleged pedophile and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. What's alleged? I don't think it's alleged. Alleged pedophile and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. You don't think they know by now that guy is nothing but dirty crap? He's burning in hell, probably. But J.P. Morgan settled with the plaintiff victims and the U.S. Virgin Island government. Don't forget the U.S. Virgin Island, St. James and Little St. James. Little St. James was Epstein Island. Okay, and remember their district attorney, she, who was a very, very accomplished lawyer, was suing and going after the Jeffrey Epstein estate. Next thing you know, she's relieved from office and duty. Very prestigious career, had all the accolades, had gone to all the right schools, but she was sick and tired of the children in her area being violated, and she was offended that nobody was doing it. So she decided to go after Jeffrey Epstein. She finds herself fired. So they paid off the victims. They paid off, it looks like, the island there, the Virgin Islands, and anyone that had any objection. I got to ask you, at some point, are you for sale, Christian? Are you for sale, patriot? Does there ever come a time where you say, you know what, put down your checkbook, my friend. This is wrong, and you're going to go to trial, and the people are going to know the truth. I'm amazed. Every time you think one of these guys, one of these birds is going to get caught, someone writes a check. That's what's wrong with our Congress right now. We've got a senator right now in Tennessee, and I know him dearly. He's been taking kickbacks evidently because he has completely flip-flopped on things he told me personally that he was going to stand against. Can't prove it. All I can say, birds of a feather, they do flock together. So anyway, you've got J.P. Morgan and them trying to put the brakes on. And according to him, Biden means to cater those who believe in oil and gas projects. And he's kind of going off on Biden, which is, J.P. Morgan to break ranks from the Democrats. That's a rare feat. Must be a reason for this. Diamond's manifestation of support for U.S. Oil exports is in direct contrast with Joe Biden's freeze all permits that was imposed in January. So freeze prevents new approvals. So what, in case you didn't know this, Joe Biden froze all permits for any new oil. If you found oil and were looking to drill baby drill, as Trump would say, it's freeze baby freeze under Biden. He has since January froze all permits and has not allowed any new drilling. So the strength of the U.S. domestic energy production is a power advantage for the nation, creating a cheaper, more reliable energy for economic and geopolitical advantage, Diamond said. So in his shareholder letter, Diamond discussed many other aspects of the American and global economy, such as his view regarding Chile's scenario, which interest rates climbing up to as high as 8%. Ow. Well, Mr. Diamond from J.P. Morgan going against Joe Biden publicly. That's not good for JoJo. This is Macil Duncan. If you'd like to help us feed the hungry, you can go online today at www.appletonbaptist.com. That's appletonbaptist.com and help us feed the hungry. We're feeding right at 3,000 people or more a month, one time. We do that by giving out food at our food pantry, but also going downtown to the tent cities and a lot of veterans and homeless people. So again, help us feed the hungry at www.appletonbaptist.com.
Attention business owners, have you already filed for your employer retention credit with the IRS? As reported in a major financial paper, the IRS will be slowing down ERC checks. You could now be waiting several months to a year plus to get your ERC money. We can help you get it within 10 days. As long as you've already filed for your ERC with the IRS, we can advance you the money. Finance ERC has already funded millions of dollars in ERC money. You don't need to wait to get your money. We can get it to you within 10 days. Again, if you've already filed your employer retention credit, we can help you get the money in your bank account within 10 days from today. But you need to call right now while time is on your side. Here's our number. Not available in all states.
800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. That's 800-570-7651.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-932-3721. 800-932-3721. 800-932-3721. That's 800-932-3721.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. That's 800-803-3771.
Inner circle to a jail cell at Rikers Island. Just minutes ago, a New York judge sentenced Alan Weisselberg to 5 months behind bars for perjury. The former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization admitted to lying under oath in the civil fraud case against the former president. Weisselberg also helped exaggerate the value of Trump's New York penthouse in order to get better rates on loans and insurance policies. CNN's Kara Scannell is live outside the courthouse for us. Kara, what's happening?
So, Jim, Alan Weisselberg sentenced to 5 months in jail. This was part of a plea deal that he had made with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The hearing took less than 5 minutes. Weisselberg walked in with a windbreaker, ready to report to prison. During the hearing, the judge asked him if he had anything he wanted to say. He said, "No, Your Honor." She then said she would sentence him to this agreed deal of 5 months in jail.
One of the fastest judgments of all time. This is the former CFO sentenced to 5 months in jail. He made a deal, and evidently he's going to testify against Donald Trump for this sweet deal. He goes in with a windbreaker, ready to report to prison. The judge asked him if he got any questions. He said no, sentenced, and they said it took less than 30 minutes from the moment he walked in till they walked him out to take him to jail. So it's going to be interesting to see if this guy has anything at all to say against Donald Trump. His crime was supposedly exaggerating the market value of some of Trump's properties, is what they're saying. But you never know, what their real goal is and what is for real. So that's what they're saying. So the New Jersey National Guard right now has got a mass destruction team conducts a hypothetical search for nuclear bomb at the New Jersey basketball arena. This has some citizens concerned that because we have been told 5 times by the FBI Director Christopher Wray that there's a very good chance on American soil we'll have another 9/11 type event between now and the election. I think everyone's been holding their breath, and there's always that possibility, hey, is it going to happen because of the upcoming an election for one? Many were thinking during the eclipse Monday, would that be used to trigger some kind of violent acts? And of course, nothing's been reported. But just in case, New Jersey's National Guard Weapons of Mass Destruction team conducts a hypothetical search for nuclear bomb at the New Jersey basketball arena. So during March Madness, the New Jersey National Guard 21st Weapons of Mass Destruction Civil Support Team said they did a search. Now, it would make sense that it would be an event. Many folks have said, hey, Super Bowls, World Series, March Madness, big sporting events that have a lot of Americana watching, if they did something nefarious, it would not only kill a lot of people, it could kill the hope. That's what they would go after, the hope and dreams, if you will, of your countrymen. The U.S. Army reported that the New Jersey, Idaho, and Delaware National Guard participated in an interagency biological, chemical, nuclear, radiological, and explosive training March 25th to 28th during the height of the college basketball March Madness tournament. So just keep your eyes and ears open that evidently there's concern. Also up in Oregon, the FBI used 3 to 4 hospitals and did a what if we had a nuclear fallout or a contagion outbreak. And they evidently went through protocol and did a hypothetical over in Oregon. So I think they're preparing themselves that something is afoot in the country. And I think none of us would be super duper surprised if something did come about. Because it seems like there is the warning levels, not to mention the southern border. I think all of us know by now the southern border is much of a distraction and a weakness, and I think we all see that as a coming time. So we will see. Well, what is CERN? CERN is something that gets a lot of attention. CERN. Let's take a listen.
States of emergency have been declared all over the United States. Schools are closing. The big daddy of particle accelerators, the one and only Large Hadron Collider, LHC, is powering back up for the first time in years. What's happening next week that is both exciting and frightening for the world? Keep watching, because that's what we're exploring today on PMP, Pristine Mega Projects. So here's the scoop. Back in December 2018, the LHC at CERN, Switzerland, took a breather to spruce things up a bit. Some upgrades here, some improvements there. And boy, did it take its sweet time, more than 3 years. But hey, good things come to those who wait, right? Fast forward to today. Now, the countdown is on for the grand comeback with Run 3 scheduled for the 8th of April. Why the 8th of April? It just so happens that this is the same day as the total solar eclipse.
Rah-rah, Rocky! A lot of folks were concerned something nefarious was going to go on through maybe a militant from Iran to Hamas, Antifa, etc. Who would have thought Switzerland would be a part of some project that's not been really covered by many of the mainstream media? Let's keep on listening.
Is this a cosmic coincidence? After almost 2 years of hibernation, CERN's now ready to fire up the LHC once again. It's like waking up a sleeping giant. Only this time, it's on a mission to uncover the universe's deepest secrets, like dark matter and dark energy, that secretly power the universe.
So, it kind of reminds you of Star Wars. You know, the Force is with you. There's the good force and the bad force. You know, Darth Vader was a good guy that got pulled into the dark side, etc. So, and Luke Skywalker was constantly battling with it. Do you guys remember that? Well, 7 things you didn't know about CERN and the strange world of particle physics. This is an article, if you want to go catch, on the World Economic Forum. I'm going right to the bastion of evil for some information. The World Economic Forum. Okay, check this out. This, according to them, talks about CERN on the outskirts of Geneva. CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, mimics the aftermath of Big Bang by sending beams of protons hurling into one another to at close to levels of speed to light. So this stuff's been going on since 2012. But surprising facts about CERN, ambitious project, okay? This is just point number 1. I'm skipping down. Number 1, World Economic Forum now tells us the Large Hadron Collider is colder than the outer space, okay? To be precise, it's 1.9 kilograms minus 271.3 degrees Celsius. It's pretty cold. Also, absolute zero. So it's got this cooling system. Okay, let's skip on down because that's interesting. But I've got more. This is going to blow you away. The Higgs boson isn't the God particle. It's the GD particle. Okay, now check this out. This is literally a Nobel Prize winning guy. Okay, in 1993, there was a book on the subject of the GD particle. They actually spelled out God using damn as his last name, and I'm not going to say it in the same breath. But the GD particle, okay, this ought to tell you a little bit about this CERN system. For them to use the Lord's name in vain to describe part of this, okay? So before the discovery of Higgs on July 4, 2012, physics had a theory but no proof to explain how elementary particles like electrons and quarks got their mass. Such was the frustration of Leon Ledman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist who wrote the book in 1993 called The GD Particle. If the universe is the answer, what is the question? Is the name of his book. Sensing this to be too controversial, his publisher switched the title to The God Particle. Okay? So when you go search for the God particle, just so you know, his original title was the GD particle because he's an atheist, of course, which in itself is an irked those who believe that religion and science are separate spheres. He's trying to say that God is not only non-existent, but that science is God. Savvy? Okay, so number 3, we are all at least 95% ignorant. Well, that's what all these supposed smart people say, that we're all stupid and they're smart. Even at the discovery of Higgs, the standard model is not complete because it not only explains how 3 out of 4 fundamental forces work, omitting gravity. While gravity is well covered by the theory of relativity, the trouble is that there is no framework linking the two theories together. So, point number 4, the World Wide Web was born at CERN. Hello. This affects the little smartphone in your hand. You might want to listen to this one. Nobody knows where fundamental research will lead, but Al Gore did find. I'm kidding. Al Gore was not a part of this. I had to make fun of Al. Remember, he said he invented the internet, and he's from Tennessee. Famously, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web in 1989 at CERN. as a tool to allow scientists around the world to share data. So, the thing that you enjoy now and do your Googling and your Yahooing on, it was started with this CERN project, okay? The complex instruments developed for the particle physics and CERN and other similar facilities have spawned numerous other uses, including PET scans and the most common tool to diagnose cancers. Interesting. Number 5, CERN costs the equivalent of a cappuccino a year per European. Interesting. This is Macil Duncan. My new book, Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Lifeway Books, Thrifty, wherever you get your online material. Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome. Don't forget my radio show is every day, 3 to 6 p.m. on the Street Level America and U.S. Radio Today Heartbeat. We're in 32 states and multiple countries, and thanks so much. Move Your Mountains, by Macil Duncan.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. That's 800-957-6062. Paid for by Term Direct.
This is Macil Duncan. If you'd like to help us feed the hungry, you can go online today at www.appletonbaptist.com. That's appletonbaptist.com, and help us feed the hungry. We're feeding right at 3,000 people or more a month, one time. We do that by giving out food at our food pantry, but also going downtown to the tent cities and a lot of veterans and homeless people. So again, help us feed the hungry at www.appletonbaptist.com.
Attention business owners. Have you already filed for your employer retention credit with the IRS? As reported in a major financial paper, the IRS will be slowing down ERC checks. You could now be waiting several months to a year plus to get your ERC money. We can help you get it within 10 days. As long as you've already filed for your ERC with the IRS, we can advance you the money. Finance ERC has already funded millions of dollars in ERC money. You don't need to wait to get your money. We can get it to you within 10 days. Again, if you've already filed your employer retention credit, we can help you get the money in your bank account within 10 days from today. But you need to call right now while time is on your side. Here's our number. Not available in all states.
800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. That's 800-570-7651.
Yeah, so gas prices at the pump are so important for American families. And a big focus of President Biden, we are pleased that gas prices have come down by $1.40.
What happened?
Relative to that peak that was caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But as you say, we are watching carefully to make sure that those gas prices at the pump don't go up.
Is anybody buying the Biden administration? I got a theme song for this lady and Joe Biden.
You can hide your lying eye, and your smile is a thin disguise.
A thin disguise.
I thought my
polls are showing it. The people aren't believing Biden anymore. 76% believe, according to USA Today, that Joe Biden has told one or more lies during his administration. So, yeah, he's pretty much a vexless liar. Check this one out. This is his another one of his stooges that tries to make us think that everything's okay. And would you just make your see what you think? She thinks that the economy's better under Biden than Trump. Tammy Duckworth.
What do you say to people who are worried about the economy and might think Donald Trump's better on the economy, but are also worried about the issue of abortion? Do you think one issue trumps, not to use the word trumps, but one issue outweighs the other?
Well, he was terrible for the economy. Thank goodness Joe Biden got into office, because Joe Biden put us out of a potential recession.
I see. She thinks that, I don't know if you caught that, Tammy Duckworth is trying to spin that we're better off under Donald Trump and or under Joe Biden, that he saved the economy.
But are also worried about the issue of abortion. Do you think one issue trumps, not to use the word trumps, but one issue outweighs the other?
Well, he was terrible for the economy. Thank goodness Joe Biden got into office. Goodness Joe Biden got into office. Goodness Joe Biden got into office. Goodness Joe Biden got into office, because Joe Biden put us out of a potential recession.
So she's saying that Joe Biden saved the day and that Donald Trump was bad for the economy. I got a song from Taylor Swift for you, sweetheart.
All you are is mean and a liar and pathetic. Mean and a liar 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 and pathetic and alone in life and me.
And you are a liar because you work for Joe Biden. Pretty much his whole cabinet is nothing but a mirage, and I don't think anyone takes him seriously anymore. At least I don't. But here's a song. It tells you to walk like a Joe Biden. See what you think.
The American president is doomed. A little old man can barely move. If he moves too quick, he'll topple just like a domino. He's got that sinister smile and thinks he just might win the bet. But he's just hanging on, dangling like Hunt a cigarette. Hunter types with the hookah pipe say, walk like a Joe Biden.
It's called Walk Like a Joe Biden. One of my listeners sent this to me. It's funny.
And when he boards Air Force One, he spins around and he hits the floor. He's got the moves. He hits the deck, then he hits some more. All the Dems are so sick of Joe, they really would like to see him end. He his pants when he went to the Vatican. All the kids in the DNC say,
Walk Like a Joe Biden. You can go catch out the whole song. The video, you can go to YouTube. Walk Like a Joe Biden. Do not watch this unless you don't have anything in your mouth. You're going to choke, laugh. The first time I watched it, it is hilarious because they got a lot of good clips of Mr. Joe. So what's going on? We were talking about CERN, and I wanted to bring that back to you and go back to some of this because I think a lot of us are concerned, if you will. Joe Rogan said he thinks this is demonic technology. Joe the Rogan.
Physics, with the cosmic microwave background, the leftover radiation from the Big Bang.
But you would like something more that you could bring to people, saying that this is very valuable and tangible stuff.
And we had very good reason to hope that we could detect it by now in an underground laboratory.
Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in a colossal machine spanning 27 kilometers, physicists from around the world are unraveling the secrets of the universe. Or are they? The Large Hadron Collider, located at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, has been smashing particles together at incredible speeds, searching for the elusive God particle and exploring the mysteries of the cosmos.
The God particle. They're trying to use science with this super scientific thing out in Sweden, if you will. And don't you think it's odd that all of a sudden CERN is being released again? It was on the tables. And as it's being released again, they're also wanting Switzerland, who once was always known for being neutral, to join NATO. Ukraine and Switzerland being voted or trying to be brought into NATO about the same time. Interesting.
Where does the Higgs boson come from? The discovery of the Higgs boson particle at CERN's Large Hadron Collider, LHC, in 2012 has raised many questions about its origins and properties. The Higgs boson, which is responsible for generating the masses of elementary particles, should have a mass that is many orders of magnitude larger than observed.
Now, this is where a lot of the green energy people are putting their hope. They believe that we're going to have such mass energies, and if you've watched the movie with Tom Cruise and the battery, the Zephyr and all that, a small battery can take on nations and stuff. You've got to ask yourself, is that why J.P. Morgan, I shared this story with you earlier in the show, he's saying that we do not need to do away completely with J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon. To stop oil and gas project is wrong and enormously naive. The CEO warns the danger of stagflation. But Biden has put a hold on all drilling since January. No new permits are being admitted under the Biden administration now. January, February, March, April, we're in the fourth month of no drilling. Now, Trump has already said one of the first things he'll do once he gets in is, one, close the border, and two, drill, baby, drill. So you've got a complete different view on energy coming up in the presidential election. So as we go back to the CERN, the other thing I thought was interesting was Elon Musk. I found this. Elon Musk says CERN's Large Hadron Collider is demonic technology. This is what Elon Musk had to say.
Chairman at CERN announced the discovery of the Higgs boson. According to physicists, the discovery of the Higgs boson will open the door to the study of other particles that may exist within our universe. However, many theories think that tinkering with the Higgs might lead to a number of sci-fi outcomes, like the formation of a black hole within our planet. Even the famous billionaire Elon Musk calls the particle accelerator responsible for this experiment demonic technology. Experiment demonic technology. Experiment demonic technology. Experiment demonic technology.
So that was Elon Musk, one of the richest men. He's either number one or number two. It kind of, depends on, you go look at Forbes one day and him and Bezos and all them trade places. But he's one of the wealthiest men. He owns SpaceX. He's into energy. And for him to say, be careful, he's given us two warnings now, Elon Musk. One about AI. He says we need to slow it down. He goes, you can't stop it. It's already in motion, but we need to slow it down, and you need to have children. He said, I advise all young couples to have children for the sake of the human race. So for Elon Musk to be concerned about AI, and he's also concerned about CERN. Now, think about these two concerns he has if they have some kind of evil objective together. CERN is going to be bringing an absolute light speed energy possibilities. That's why they want to call it the green energy. They're trying to make you think green energy saves the planet. No, that's bullcrap. No, that's not what it is. It's called a new power base because the Rockefellers and all those old petroleum-owned companies that have owned Big Pharma and all these things in the past. They have controlled politics. They've controlled a lot of global events and etc. The new energy that's coming in that will make it supposedly faster, and that's why they're pushing these EV cars, is this CERN, and you ought to go read about it. It's huge. It's massive. It's the largest machine ever. It's the largest machine on the planet. And it's trying to find the God particles. Now, we got Jolene Carter coming on at 4 o'clock, and Jolene's done some study, so be interesting. I'll be back after the break.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
This is Macil Duncan. My new book, Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Lifeway Books, Thrifty, wherever you get your online material. Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome. Don't forget my radio show is every day, 3 to 6 p.m. on the Street Level America and U.S. Radio Today Heartbeat. We're in 32 states and multiple countries, and thanks so much. Move Your Mountains by Macil Duncan.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. That's 800-957-6062. Paid for by Term Direct.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. That's 800-803-3771.
Welcome back, my friend. This is Macil Duncan, and welcome to the show. Don't forget my book, Move Your Mountains. I've put this out November of last year, and it's already selling, exceeded my numbers. We sold multiple cases. Appreciate all those that buy online through Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Lifeway Books, Thrifty Books, wherever you get your online materials. And I appreciate if you give me a nice review on Google and Amazon. Appreciate that. Well, a lot happening, and the CERN, Elon Musk gives a warning that this is of the devil. I thought I'd play just a little more and make you aware that this is troubling to some. And let me play just a tad more of the clip, and we'll talk about it.
To a number of sci-fi outcomes, like the formation of a black hole within our planet. Even the famous billionaire Elon Musk calls the particle accelerator responsible for this experiment demonic technology. What's really going on at CERN? And is there some substance to the claims of these theorists? Welcome back to Factnominal. Today, we'll look at the remarkable discovery made by CERN scientists. Demonic technology. On the 21st of August 2022, tech billionaire Elon Musk made an interesting tweet about CERN's Large Hadron Collider. The tech entrepreneur posted an image containing a black skull and renderings of the collider at two different angles. Right at the bottom of the image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology, unlike anything the world has ever seen."
Did you catch that? Let me repeat that. It's printed, "I am normal and can be trusted with demonic technology unlike anything the world has ever seen." Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
At two different angles. Right at the bottom of the image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology." Right at the bottom of the image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology." At two different angles. Right at the bottom of the image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology."
So what good is CERN? Now, my good friend Daniel and Deb Wilson, a long time Daniel and Debbie, Pastor salute to you. This is great stuff you found. 10 mind-blowing facts about CERN, the Large Collider you need to know. It's on the, if you want to go to the Macil Duncan Championship Ministry page. But number 10, CERN is the world's biggest machine straddling the French and Swiss border. The 9 billion CERN Collider complex is buried at a depth of up to 575 feet, and the tunnel complex runs along 17 miles. And scientists involved in the project say the laboratory was built underground because the Earth's crust provides protection against radiation. Meaning, in case people get carried away with the bombs, they can exist. Number 9, massive gravitational pull. CERN Collider is composed of some 9,600 supermagnets, which are 100,000 times more powerful than gravitational pull of the Earth. Did you catch that? 100,000 times more powerful than the gravitation of the Earth. Okay? Number 8, skipping down. CERN generates extreme temperatures. Okay? Number 7, the Stephen Hawking is worried, although it may require some mental gymnastics to wrap one's brain around exactly what CERN scientists are attempting to achieve in their underground lab, the average layman may instinctively understand that such an experiment may be wrought with unforeseeable pitfalls. Stephen Hawking, the eminent psychiatrist, seems to agree. The God particle found by CERN would destroy the universe, Hawkins wrote. The God particle found by CERN would destroy the universe, he wrote. So, interesting enough. And in the late 2008, when CERN was first firing up the engines and its atomic smashing machine, Otto Rosler, a German professor at the University of Tübingen, filed a lawsuit against CERN with the European Court of Human Rights on the grounds the facility could trigger a mini black hole that could get out of control and annihilate the planet. Number 6, opening the door to other dimensions. 1 year after CERN's grand opening, blah, blah, blah. Many are afraid this could be time-traveling nightmare and possibly demonic things, okay? Jumping down, number 5, CERN's curious choice of geographic location. On top of all the speculations of what CERN scientists are really attempting to do with their large hardened collider, many observers could not help but notice that the town in France where CERN is particularly situated is called Saint-Jean-Paul, the name Pauli occupied from the Latin Apocalyptium, and is believed that the Roman times a temple existed in honor of Apollo, and the people who lived there believed that it was their gateway to the underworld. Check that out. Number 4, tapping into dark matter astrology and into potential satanic rituals. Number 3, the CERN logo, I will leave it up to your imagination, but it does look satanic. Number 2, the deity of destruction as corporate mascot. Although most corporations shun away from connection with religion and spiritual world, CERN has chosen as its mascot a Hindu goddess. But not just a Hindu goddess. Just outside of its headquarters, the building sits an ancient statue of Shiva, an ancient Apollyon, the goddess of destruction. Interesting. And the number 1 concern, the democratic debate CERN is presently ramping up the largest atom collider in the world, and with the magnetic pull of 100,000 times more than gravity, they feel they could become technically a wrecking ball to the world as we know it. So you can go online, and thank you, Daniel and Deb Wilson, for this. 10 mind-blowing. They've got pictures attached, and it's got a picture of that goddess and the different things that are of concern. So many folks are saying, hey, this sounds not just freaky, but it does sound demonic. Now, as I mentioned, Joe Rogan had a scientist on, and he called it demonic technology. Again, this was what Elon Musk said, in case you missed it.
Interesting tweet about CERN's Large Hadron Collider. The tech entrepreneur posted an image containing a black skull and renderings of the collider at 2 different angles. Right at the bottom of the image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology." The image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology." The image were the words, "I am normal and can be trusted with a demonic technology," unlike anything the world has ever seen. To someone that might be unfamiliar with Musk, the tweet would appear as nothing more than a meme. And
it went to a commercial on me. Check this out.
With several Twitter users asking what the big obstacle really was. Unfortunately, though, he left no response for them. In any ways, what would Musk have in mind? Is he interested in the LHC to simply further his ambition to conquer the Red Planet? Well, we don't know for sure, but the LHC could be of interest to him because it stands at the center of quantum physics.
So, the bottom line, some people a lot smarter than me, and Elon Musk is one, they're starting to collaborate and unify with this super powerful energy. But when you have people like Elon Musk that buys X and wants to defend freedom of speech, he gives warnings about AI, he gives warning about CERN and calls it demonic technology. And he's a guy that wants to travel to other planets. He's a guy that's big into electric vehicles. He's even got his own Tesla, stuff, as you know. So to have one of the guys on the inside who's seen behind the curtain and knows what the wizard's all about, he's giving cautious statements and warnings to us, the American people. So I think it's going to be interesting as we get closer to the time of seeing what could this be and the impact it's going to have on the country. Well, real quick, breaking an undercover video, CIA officer and former FBI boast we can put anyone in jail and set them up. The FBI did what we wanted with Alex Jones and took his money away. This is a recording that has now been released. A CIA officer and former FBI official has bragged that they set up Alex Jones and says we can put anyone in jail and set them up. Look what we did to Alex Jones, and we took all his money away. Does anyone doubt that they can do that to somebody? They can make you look like a porn addict. They can make you look like a thief. They can make you look like a drug dealer, probably even a child sex trafficker. There is probably no depth that the FBI would not go to if you get crosshairs with them. And you don't understand why, but there's something sinister that goes behind and controls the FBI. And Trump calls it the deep state. The Q community calls it the underworld, the deep state. But there seems to be a power in D.C., a group, if you will, that wants to control. Now, if you go back to this CERN technology and the AI technology, whoever's in power of this country, as this continues to break, you could see you're going to go, my friend, back to servanthood. You have no clue of what you're about to lose. I think freedoms as we know it. I mean, look at all the meat plants that are blowing up and being destroyed in the last 4 years. Do you know 62% of all meat plants are now gone? They don't exist. And you're hearing different farmers and different people say it's not caught up to the economy. It's been a slow rise. They go, but it's going to hit. You'll pay $17 a pound for a chicken in the future. They're doing this on purpose and deliberate. We don't know why, but it's a slow attack. It's a slow invasion on the meat market. It's opening up the borders. It's the big pharma. You just start looking all. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to look around and say something not right. It's all happening like hand in glove. And I think it's not Democrat, Republican. I think it's some kind of a uniparty, if you will, out there creating some of this stuff that's causing a lot of panic. Because you got people, see if I can pull it up, like Liz Cheney, the former congresswoman. Her father was Dick Cheney. Listen to what Liz said, and this I'll just tell you right here. This is the people that want to control the world, and this is Liz Cheney. See what you think.
I think it's very important that the Supreme Court recognize that what he's doing is a delaying tactic, and that the American people, it cannot be the case that a president of the United States can attempt to overturn an election and seize power, and that our justice system is incapable of holding a trial, of holding him to account before the next election.
All he asked for was a recount. Trump did not try to overthrow the government. He asked for a recount. That's all he asked for. We've got Jolene Carter on the phone. Jolene, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Making sure I've got you turned up. I'm excited. I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but the CERN stuff, you put me onto that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the stuff you sent me, and then Daniel and Deb Wilson, they've been followers of mine a little bit longer than you have been. They sent me the 10 ugly facts about CERN, and so I've been sharing some of that. But
okay, great.
So, I was just.
It's quite something, huh?
Well, hadn't talked to you since last week. I know you've had a chance to let it sit in, but what does Mike think about South Carolina? Is he still proud that he picked them for the women's national championship?
Well, he told me after we hung up last week that he was not for South Carolina. He said he was just saying they were going to win. I said, oh, okay. So I thought you were for them. And he said no, but he felt like they would win, and I really didn't feel like they would win.
Well,
and at the same time, I was rooting for Iowa, but we were both rooting for Iowa, but I was really disappointed in that game.
Well, you know what they did? I guess you could tell they put that tall girl on her, and
yes, they did.
And they wore her out because you could tell her legs looked tired at the end when she was rimming it a little. So that's a sign that your legs are tired, because she had to really work hard to get open.
Yeah, because she was doing really good at the beginning, and then you could tell she was kind of going downhill. And I was watching what they were doing. I mean, they were in her face. I mean, I used to play basketball in high school, so I'm watching and they're doing things that we were told to do, but you can't shoot when somebody's hands are just literally right there in your face, and that's what she's good at is those 3-pointers, and they shut her down.
Now I got to ask, did you and Deborah play basketball together?
Yeah, we sure did.
Okay. Deborah, her friend in Texas, who's a nurse, she can't always watch live. Sometimes she's on a shift and has to watch later. But I got to ask, what were your all's nicknames? You've got to have nicknames on teams. Did you and Deborah have nicknames?
Well, this is funny. Deborah's mother, her name is Jolene, which you never really find very many Jolenes out there. So Deborah's middle name was Joe, so we called her Deborah Joe. And my nickname is Jody.
Huh, okay.
So that's what most of my friends and family call me, is Jody. And I always hated it because it sounded like a boy name to me.
Well, you guys played basketball down in Texas, am I right?
Yes, we did. Really small town, though.
Well, I tell you what, sports, I think everybody. Now, could you believe that the women's tickets for the first time ever cost more than the boys' tickets?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's pretty cool, though. The viewership, I read, was up 89% from 2023 and up 285% from 2022. So, well, I mean, it's jumped up there.
Well, the game that they played LSU was the highest watched college basketball game of all time, ESPN reported, until the the next game, then the champ that was even higher.
Yeah,
I
a
could
lot
not.
higher.
I could not believe. So it had more than the boys' games, and so it's going to be interesting. But if you could advise Caitlin Clark, would you tell her to play with Ice Cube in that league of one? I think it's a 3-on-3 league for $5 million, and the other guy doubled it to $10 million, or go to the WNBA and play for $276,000.
Gosh, I would tell her to go to WNBA. Maybe she'll bring some attention to that.
Well, the other thing, Jason Whitlock said if she stayed another year, because she qualifies for a COVID bonus year. If she stayed another year, she could. He thinks she can make up to $20 million next year with endorsements.
Oh yeah.
But I don't see why she can't make that in the WNBA. I don't know why the endorsements matters whether she's in college. Maybe it's the NIL,
right.
or maybe the NIL's easier than the WNBA. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I think she could definitely make a lot of money in endorsements. And the other girl, Haley, she's going through the portal, so she could actually stay at LSU if she wanted, but she's deciding to go a different direction. So they'll be, I don't know what kind of team they'll be next year.
Yeah, you talking about Iowa?
Yes.
They're going to stink. They're losing. Yeah. They lost 3 starters from last year's team. They're losing 3 this year.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Because I forget when her speech, she mentioned how they lost 3 starting from last year's team. She was surprised how well they did this year. So yeah, it's going to be a depleted bench. And I tell you what, LSU and the Gamecocks are so stacked. Tennessee fired their coach. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they've hired a new coach.
About that. Well, I heard South Carolina say that they lost all 5 of their starters. So I'm like, what?
Oh wow!
So they got a brand new team?
Well, she's been a juggernaut. I mean, 3 championships in 5, 6 years. So she probably has people waiting in line to play for her. And
she probably does.
Didn't LSU just land 3 big recruits in the girls?
I think so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, boy, they did good in their recruits in all their sports. The football,
As long as Gino is not winning, I do not like UConn. Now the boys I don't care about. The guy, because I'm a Tennessee fan, and he disrespected Pat Summitt for a little while. He made it right at the end, and I think he even spoke at her funeral. But anyway. Well, let me change subjects and ask you, did you hear about this breaking undercover video? CIA officer and former FBI agent, it's on the Gateway Pundit, he boasts that we can put anyone in jail and set them up. And he also said, this is an undercover recording, that they set up Alex Jones and took his money away.
Yes, I saw that. But you know what? I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised, but I'm going, wow.
Yeah.
The FBI, my father's retired FBI. He's been out 35 years now. But he said this is not the FBI he worked under. He is so disappointed and disillusioned.
Oh, I bet. Oh, that's pretty cool having your father is in the FBI, but you're right. It's not the same as it used to be. And when you hear FBI now, you think of Nazis, or you think of KGB or something.
Well, let me tell you, when career day, when you would bring your parents in and do a Dad would come in and take fingerprints and explain how, everyone had, and he kind of threw a God card in. He goes, everyone's unique. You're all designed special. And so he did it as creatively as he could. But at the recess, I got all kind of Twinkies and stuff claiming to know top secret information. But the FBI also was caught lying about crime statistics, trying to act like that crime under Biden is in decline. And a whistleblower came out on the Federalist and said thousands of cities are not included intentionally or not reporting to keep crime from looking so bad going into the 2024 election.
Oh yeah, because it's real bad. And if you don't report it, then it's going to show that it's low. And they kind of keep bragging about it, but we all know what they're doing.
Well, it says in the Daily Wire, a new poll shows Latinos sour on Biden and could cost him Arizona and Nevada. I think he thought they would be happy with the open border. It seems like those that went through the legal way are very resentful of those that are coming in the illegal way.
Well, absolutely. But my daughter-in-law is from Costa Rica, and so she had to do a whole lot of paperwork and a whole lot of money, and and so she's sitting there like, wow, and then they're just flying them here, giving them $10,000 gift cards, homes, phones, you name it. So of course, those that came in the right way would be a little bitter about all that.
Well, I'm amazed that Biden makes some of the statements he makes, and let's see. Biden said he is examining his power to close the border after admitting he's now admitted record-breaking numbers of illegal immigrants, surpassing the population of 36 states now in America.
Right, and he acted like he didn't have the power to do anything, yet he has the power to forgive student debt. So it's either one or the other.
Oh, yeah. Well, he also has stopped all new drilling. Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan just came out and ratted on Biden and said to try to shut down all oil and what they like to call fossil fuels. He goes, it's a killer for the economy. He goes, and it's too much too fast. But he has refused to sign any permits. They've put a hold on all new drilling since January.
I don't understand that. I mean, yeah, he said it was too expensive to buy, to shut down the reserves. I don't know. It just makes absolutely no sense. But I tell you what, it's hurting people. I mean, it used to cost me maybe like $23 to fill up my car, and it's double that now.
Well, what's it like to go grocery shopping? I mean, you're a mama out there. I mean, because Biden administration, two pundits this week have tried to say the economy's better under Biden than Trump.
No, it's not. Our electric bill has seemed like doubled. I hate going to the grocery store because I'll pick something up and then I end up putting it back. Because I'm thinking, well, this is just so expensive, or we don't actually need this. This is maybe a want. But just a few items, and it's $100, and it's they say that it's gone up. Groceries have gone up like 20 or 30%. It's more than that. I can guarantee you that.
So, in your opinion, you live in a blue state that flipped red, Virginia, and
right.
What's the take now? Because in the midterm or in 2020, you guys kind of flipped back blue. Oh, no, that's when you guys elected your current governor, right, Youngkin?
Youngkin, right?
Yeah,
right,
and Sears, the lieutenant governor, and that incredible what's his?
Yep.
The you know what I'm talking about, the guy that
Sears, and then Jason Mayorkas. So we got like a governor and lieutenant governor and then attorney general. All Republican.
Yeah, you guys had that sweep, but then the midterms,
right.
you kind of lost ground, right?
We lost both the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm.
So what's your take as Virginia going into 2024? Do you see, because you guys had such a great turnout primarily on abortion and on the education, that the former governor saying that let a child be born alive and then execute them, and then the other parents had no business in the education of their children.
Right. That's what that's what got Glenn Youngkin elected. Is he was for parents' rights and education, those kind of things that I think, regardless of your political party, when it comes to your kids. So, I think that's what happened there. Now, as far as in the midterms, abortion was a huge, huge issue, and I think it's still going to be. I mean, that is really the only thing I've ever seen them run on is abortion.
Well, that seems to be that's their silver bullet. They're hoping.
It really, it is. And it was really sad to me that Virginia went that way, because they were playing ads and all kinds of things that were not really truthful, but just scaring people. But of all the different problems that we have right now in this country, and abortion is number one, come on. Come on.
We'll be back with Jolene Carter after this break. Don't turn the dial. This is Macil Duncan. If you'd like to help us feed the hungry, you can go online today at www.appletonbaptist.com. That's appletonbaptist.com and help us feed the hungry. We're feeding right at 3,000 people or more a month, one time. We do that by giving out food at our food pantry, but also going downtown to the tent cities and a lot of veterans and homeless people. So again, help us feed the hungry at www.appletonbaptist.com.
Attention, business owners. Have you already filed for your employer retention credit with the IRS? As reported in a major financial paper, the IRS will be slowing down ERC checks. You could now be waiting several months to a year plus to get your ERC money. We can help you get it within 10 days. As long as you've already filed for your ERC with the IRS, we can advance you the money. Finance ERC has already funded millions of dollars in ERC money. You don't need to wait to get your money. We can get it to you within 10 days. Again, if you've already filed your employer retention credit, we can help you get the money in your bank account within 10 days from today. But you need to call right now while time is on your side. Here's our number. Not available in all states.
800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. That's 800-570-7651.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-932-3721. 800-932-3721. 800-932-3721. That's 800-932-3721.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. That's 800-803-3771.
Welcome back, my friends. This is Macil Duncan, and this is the Macil Duncan Show, 3 to 6 p.m. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got good news. We've got another station wanting to pick up the show. I had a great meeting today, and what's good about that is it's a local station. And so here in the Chattanooga area, there's actually two stations wanting to pick up the show. But we're now with Street Level America in 32 states, 26 countries, and in the District of Columbia, of all places. So anyway, I always have on Wednesdays Jolene Carter from Virginia, and she's a mama bear that has watched her state flip from blue to red, and now it's kind of gotten light bluish again. So Jolene, as we talk about your state again, tell us anything else that's happening over there. Anything happening in Virginia we need to know about?
Oh, actually, what I've just been kind of reading a lot about the eclipse lately, so not really paying that much attention to Virginia politics. So I don't have really anything super new to report about that. However, our governor did veto several Second Amendment type bills that were sent to his desk. So we were really happy about that. That was a couple weeks ago.
Well,
so,
going back to you kind of got me thinking about CERN, and then the Williams sent me that as well. Did you notice how so people were tying in the eclipse with this for something? They did some kind of a relaunch. Yes, and they wanted to do it on the day of the eclipse.
Right. That's what I thought was so weird, because they haven't launched CERN in a couple of years. So why all of a sudden the day of the eclipse? And I don't know if a lot of people really know about CERN, where it's located. I mean, I'm sure you said you kind of did some things on your show about it.
Yeah, we tried to keep the listeners, because I was trying to tell them, now this was predicted for over 100 years. But people were picking out, hey, it had the word Nineveh, 7 times in the States and 1 time in Canada, the word Jonah, and it was crossing from the 2017 in a town called Rapture. You're a woman of faith. Your husband works for the 700 Club. You don't want to dispel people or discourage people, but I'm amazed at how quickly, or I hate to use the word naive, but some Christians can just jump on something like that and not take some more biblical time with it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I like to listen to Jonathan Cahn. You probably heard of him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rabbi Cahn. So people like that, I think, are reputable, and he just has so much knowledge. So I was more interested in it from a biblical perspective, and just the Jewish holidays, how things line up, the Jewish calendar, all that kind of stuff. I just found it fascinating. So, and I mean, and the other stuff about the Nineveh and all that stuff. I mean, it's just very, very strange.
Well, it is interesting. In 2017, you did have the 7 cities of Salem, and then there's 7 cities in America of Nineveh, and there was a crossing point. And but I thought some folks were reaching a little bit, because that town of Rapture, that region's nicknamed Little Egypt. So people were referring to, Moses did the 3 days of darkness. But it wasn't this, I can see the temptation to go there, but that passage was written for that time to explain that. We can glean wisdom for today, but when people try to take a prophecy that's already been fulfilled and then re-prophesy it for today, I just think there's some danger there, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, and it can turn people off away from Christians. So you have to be really careful what you say. I had a long post about everything, but I tried to make sure everything I posted was a fact, not just something that I heard or thought, or I mean, it was like I researched. And, CERN was firing up, and NASA was firing some rockets, and, there's so many weird different things on that day.
Well, let me change subjects to you. The Federalist says, a survey, most young women hold conservative beliefs, but they hide them. They're been made to feel kind of ashamed. Women are incredibly pressured to suppress our conservative inclinations, a recent national survey reveals. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not surprised, because people can just be so ugly and mean. I've had that happen to me before. Just, said something about being pro-life, and somebody just went off on me about rape and incest. And, I was just so caught off guard. And I'm like, the percentage of, they always use that. They use that, but the percentage of that is so low, but the amount of anger lashed out, it makes you just like, golly, you really have to be careful. I mean, I'm all for taking a stand and all that sort of thing, but I think you just have to be really wise in how you speak what you believe.
Well, it says here that the story of suppressed conservatives' instincts begin with the government-run K-12 education. that they believe they were brainwashed as a young child and were taught by the public education system to suppress. More than 60% of college students are now women, but they have been manipulated, according to the survey. They feel, this is the Christian young women, to not speak their heart when it comes to religious or conservative values.
Mhm. Well, it's just like the thing, you don't discuss religion or politics, those two things.
But why not? Why not?
I know, but I have a friend whose daughter is super, super liberal, and so she says she just stays away from it. She believes the way I do, but she doesn't come forward with it, doesn't talk about it because of her daughter. And I'm thinking, wow. I mean, and she says it's she doesn't want to lose a relationship with her daughter.
Well,
and I can understand that, but I don't know how I feel about that.
More and more parents have told me how they sent their kids off to school, and to have them return, almost hating them and the way they were raised, and it's the public education. It's a strategy. They want kids to rebel. But there's faith groups protesting Biden's plan to control their employment decisions. This is on the Gateway Pundit, and it says in the article, non-discrimination schemes under the Joe Biden regime in Washington often have been used to advocate for their blatant discrimination against Christians and Christian organizations. I bet Mike has seen this. Groups like the 700 Club.
Right.
When you're trying to, make a decision, they brought DEI and tried to force that equity and inclusion stuff on groups that say, hey, but we don't. That's not a part of our core values.
Right. Oh, I've so many different, family or friends who, work at this place or that place have to go through a whole bunch of that kind of stuff, and it just infuriates them. It takes time away from their actual work, and it's just really stupid. And I don't know if CBN's done anything like that, but I think they have done things about, what would be considered sexual harassment, things like that, because it's just everybody's just so sensitive, but the DEI thing is just out of control. And a lot of places are actually deciding that it's not worth it and doing away with it. So I read some of that sometimes to see that.
Well, Jolene, we got just a couple of minutes for the commercial break. You got anything else that you've been digging into, or something else you want to share?
Well, I've been following, this the House vote on the FISA deal. So they did vote it down. So that's good. But before that, they voted themselves basically immune from it. So you can't spy on them, but you can spy on American people.
Yeah, I pulled that up as something to bring up with Maria Wagner, because I know it says they hate us. Congress gives itself a carve out of FISA warrantless spying bill. Only ordinary Americans will be spied on by their government without a warrant.
Yeah, isn't that insane? So what I'm hearing though is, even though it was voted against, so I'm hearing that the House are having another meeting at 4. Something that we need to watch, because I think this is one of those things. I think they do the backroom deals where people get paid off to take another vote.
Do you think Speaker Johnson is like Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling him a traitor, or do you think he's just overwhelmed?
I think he's been threatened.
Blackmail?
Because he's a whole different person than he seemed to be from the beginning, unless he was faking it all at the beginning, because we were all pretty excited about him, and he seemed that he was going to stand up. He promised that we would get the January 6 tapes and all kinds of things. And I don't know what now. I mean, he's like all for Ukraine money. No, everything he said he was going to do, he's not done.
Yeah, it's almost like Schumer and them. They took him to an Epstein Island somewhere. But I don't know. Hey, thanks, Jolene. We'll talk to you soon. Jolene Carter from Virginia. I'll be back with Marie Wagner at 5. This is Macil Duncan. My new book, Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Lifeway Books, Thrifty, wherever you get your online material. Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome. Don't forget my radio show is every day, 3 to 6 p.m. on the Street Level America and U.S. Radio Today Heartbeat. We're in 32 states and multiple countries, and thanks so much. Move Your Mountains by Macil Duncan.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. That's 800-957-6062. Paid for by Term Direct.
This is Macil Duncan. If you'd like to help us feed the hungry, you can go online today at www.appletonbaptist.com. That's appletonbaptist.com and help us feed the hungry. We're feeding right at 3,000 people or more a month, one time. We do that by giving out food at our food pantry, but also going downtown to the tent cities and a lot of veterans and homeless people. So again, help us feed the hungry at www.appletonbaptist.com.
Attention, business owners. Have you already filed for your employer retention credit with the IRS? As reported in a major financial paper, the IRS will be slowing down ERC checks. You could now be waiting several months to a year plus to get your ERC money. We can help you get it within 10 days. As long as you've already filed for your ERC with the IRS, we can advance you the money. Finance ERC has already funded millions of dollars in ERC money. You don't need to wait to get your money. We can get it to you within 10 days. Again, if you've already filed your employer retention credit, we can help you get the money in your bank account within 10 days from today. But you need to call right now while time is on your side. Here's our number. Not available in all states.
800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. 800-570-7651. That's 800-570-7651.
Well, hello, my friends. It's Macil Duncan, and welcome back to the show. We have got Maria Wagner that'll be on the show a little bit later today at 5 o'clock. But as we're waiting, I thought I'd go back to that Pfizer warrant, because the interesting thing about that bill, it goes along with the FBI that were caught lying about crime stats, as I mentioned, and they seem to have no fear of jacking up stats and doing things wrong. Well, now a guy caught under surveillance breaking undercover video, CIA officer and former FBI informant. He boasts, "We can put anyone in jail, set them up." And he said, "Look what we did to Alex Jones, and we took his money away." The CIA officer and FBI official is an undercover video broadcasting about using the might of the federal government to jail anyone by setting them up. So Gavin O'Bennis, a contracting officer for the CIA, told an undercover journalist with Sound Investigations that the FBI can put anyone in jail and set them up. We call it a nudge, he said, adding that the FBI can put problematic right-wing journalists like Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones in jail. He went on to say InfoWars founder Alex Jones, the FBI took his money away and chopped his legs off. Okay, he was bragging. So I sought you, Gavin Obenis is the guy's name that used to work for, or he has worked for CIA and FBI, said at least 20 undercover FBI agents were at the U.S. Capitol on January 6. So, there's been reports up to 200. He's confirming 20. And I thought you said that there were FBI agents in the crowd January 6. The undercover journalist asked Obenis. He replied, there are. There's always, when there's a big protest in D.C., just in case it gets out of hand, I'm talking about maybe 20. You needed 1,000 to get rid of that coward. He said the FBI used embedded news and fake social media to really get people mad. So they use fake accounts, and you probably have been privy to this, and they try to get into your social media feeds, and they pretty much don't forget what Elon Musk confirmed to us when he took over X, formerly Twitter, warrant. So the House Representatives is finalizing a bill to continue their Pfizer warrantless spying on American citizens. It appears the House is ready to pass this forward, even after the federal government was caught illegally spying on President Trump and got away with it. Representative Thomas Massey reported on Monday that Congress gave itself a carve-out in the reauthorization of the FISA, meaning they can spy on you and me, but they can't spy on each other. Okay, I guess, well, just in case they're at an Epstein Island somewhere having a little bit of bow, chicka, bow, bow. They don't want us being told about their problems, but they want to tell everyone about yours and mine. The FBI will have to notify Congress and seek consent before violating the privacy of a member of Congress. Oh, that's rich. Hey, we're going to come spy on you, Mr. and Mrs. Congressperson, with your permission. Yeah, right. Okay. But the rest of America, we're on our own. The FBI can abuse your rights at any time with this new legislation. This is not good, and I think a lot of folks are upset. You can go to the Gateway Pundit. There is tons of information. Thomas Massey, who is really going after this, is posting a lot of pictures of the emails and the responses he got, and what his pushback is on this. So we will see how it plays out. But as of now, the Patriot Act just got taken to another level. They can watch and surveil you at any way they deem fit, all in the name of national security. I'm sure that's probably what the thing is. Well, the Blaze Media doc exposes a shady insider trading from filthy rich Democrats and Republicans in Congress. The latest installment of Blaze original documentaries, Bought and Paid For, How Politicians Get Filthy Rich. I think we all would like to know that, right? Well, it's going to be dropping on Wednesday for Blaze Media, which would be today. And it covers a topic that is sure to interest and infuriate viewers of all political persuasions. So you might want to check out Blaze Media. It's going to be Bought and Paid For, how the politicians have gotten themselves filthy rich. In the 30-minute episode, host James Palou travels to D.C., the belly of the proverbial beast, to learn the extent of the problem. So he goes on to dig deep and explain and expose, and so it's something you might want to check out. But some of the names mentioned, however, are less familiar to the public. They include Representative Michael Guest, Republican from Mississippi, Josh Gothamir, a Democrat from New Jersey, who reportedly sold his stock to Silicon Valley Bank the day before the bank collapsed, etc. Bigger names that you're more likely to hear about is Nancy Pelosi and some of them, Feinstein, how they went about getting their big blockbuster deals and benefited themselves and their families for decades to come now, because they took advantage of insider trading, which they now deem as illegal, but that's just been here recent. And that actually was under the Trump administration when that was deemed illegal, okay? So anyway, a lot of people want to know the leftist insurrection that were allowed to go in and block the Senate cafeteria. Why are they allowed to do this, and why were January 6 pro-Trump people, when they went into the Capitol, they were arrested or have been being arrested and treated like criminals? Why are these people treated like your average everyday protesters? And they even made the statement, we are, this is the people's house, and we're here to represent the people. Let me see if I have the clip. And it's rather interesting to see how they covered this, because it's rather rich how, you know, Schumer and his gang allows this to be considered legal, but if it was a bunch of Trump supporters, they'd be in jail.
To bring you this video within seconds. Breaking news from inside the Capitol building. Anti-Israel protesters just shut down the largest cafeteria on the Senate side, and they were chanting, according to our producers there, and they were saying that the Capitol Police are chanting everybody out or be placed under arrest, and the protesters were shouting back,
"Oh my God!"
This is the house of the people. The Senate can't eat until Gaza eats. Fox News has now learned that many of those activists are the same ones who interrupted Secretary Lloyd Austin's testimony earlier today during a Senate Armed Services hearing that was looking into the military budget. Now, we have seen so many of these protesters now show up, even outside the Wilmington, Delaware home.
No.
Of the President of the United States. They follow Biden around everywhere he goes now, every state. And they may not have been protesters, but the vote against him that was uncommitted in places where we've seen so much anti-Israel movement, like Michigan. In those places, those voters were above 100,000 voting uncommitted, not for Biden. So this is a political side. We have the video. Roll. So here it is. So protesters gathered, shutting down the largest cafeteria on the Senate side of Capitol Hill, making their voices heard, going back and forth with cops.
They probably have a big student.
So the police told him to cease and desist, and their reply was, Senate can't eat until Gaza eats, basically saying a big fat no. They weren't arrested. They were just, and you can see the videos, the Capitol Police just put their hands up trying to calm them down, and these folks were allowed to fill up and block a cafeteria in the Senate building, and they also went to where other testimonies were and disrupting Congress. Now, why is that allowed? Now, you need to understand something. Nancy Pelosi, when she was Speaker of the House, she was over the security of the House, the chamber, etc. And when a joint chamber, the Speaker of the House has more authority than whoever is over the Senate. But in this case, Chuck Schumer is over the Senate. So anything that happens in the Senate building, whoever's over the Senate works with the Capitol Police. He has the ability, Chuck Schumer can have his police, if you will, the Senate police. There are Senate police, just like there's Capitol Police that over all of it, but Senate has a protecting group there, if you want to call it security. None of them were arrested. None of them were cuffed. This was a show, my friends. What's the show about? It's all about the election. They're wanting the Arab Americans that were leaning towards Trump to come back. Sad, sad, sad.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
This is Macil Duncan. My new book, Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Lifeway Books, Thrifty, wherever you get your online material. Move Your Mountains, Learn the Journey of Faith That Can Overcome. Don't forget my radio show is every day, 3 to 6 p.m. on the Street Level America and U.S. Radio Today Heartbeat. We're in 32 states and multiple countries, and thanks so much. Move Your Mountains by Macil Duncan.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. 800-957-6062. That's 800-957-6062. Paid for by Term Direct.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. 800-803-3771. That's 800-803-3771.
A new Reuters Ipsos poll shows U.S. President Joe Biden 4 points up over former President Donald Trump ahead of the November election. Some 41% of the 833 registered voters in a nationwide survey online said they would vote for Biden if the election were held today, compared with 37% for Trump. That 4-point lead was up from a 1-point lead Biden held in a Reuters Ipsos poll in March. The poll also showed that many voters remain on the fence, with some 22% of registered voters in the poll saying they had not picked a candidate, were leaning toward third-party options, or might not vote at all. Biden had a smaller lead of just 1 point among all respondents, but his lead among registered voters is significant, as people who are already registered to vote are more likely to cast a ballot in November.
So this is Reuters reporting that Joe Biden has a 4-point lead. Don't know if you're buying that, but running for president, I'm sure that has got to be a tedious thing. And Tulsi Gabbard was asked what it's like to run for president. Have you thought of this? I mean, I wonder if Donald Trump could push a rewind. Was it worth it? Coming down the escalator and how they've treated him like a... Before that, they loved him. You got to ask yourself, well, here is Tulsi Gabbard explaining the reality of running for president.
Yeah.
Recommend or don't recommend? You ran for president.
Yeah.
Recommend or don't recommend?
Know what you're getting into?
Yeah. Was that fun?
Can you define fun? Use it in a sentence, please.
Would you say it was aloha?
I brought aloha. It was both very disheartening in seeing and experiencing like the toxic underbelly of so much of our toxic underbelly of like the toxic underbelly of so much of our I don't want to say our politics, but the political kind of conglomerate of political power, politicians and the mainstream media and the big money and all of that, big tech, all of that. And then it was also inspiring every day that I had the opportunity to go out and I had like 4 or 5 town halls a day everywhere I went, visiting small towns. I made it a point to always go visit like the editor of the local paper and go and talk to the local radio stations, and really, it made me hopeful for our country, and I'm still hopeful for our country, because I know there are so many Americans across our country who really do love our America and are concerned about the direction our country is taking and want to be a part of the solution, but are understandably frustrated because they're not quite sure how. Or, is it possible to break through these powerful forces? And my answer to them was and is the power of the people is more powerful than all of their power and money and influence, which is why they're so afraid of us and a free society who think for ourselves, who can speak freely, and who can exercise our voices and our wishes and hopes.
That's Tulsi Gabbard. Now, I like what she said. They're afraid of us, we the people. Now, the interesting thing is, as you may have heard, JFK has, Robert Kennedy, started the new party as an independent, we the people. And Tulsi Gabbard came out and said, yeah, he did ask me to be his running mate, and I turned him down. So, as I've said before, I believe Tulsi Gabbard will be an influencer in the upcoming election. I'm not saying she's a huge influencer, but if Donald Trump were to pick her as his VP or in his cabinet and announces that, I think she swings votes. I think people in the middle trust her. Don't forget, she was a successful congresswoman from Hawaii. She did support Bernie Sanders, but she stood against Hillary Clinton back in 2016 when she thought Hillary Clinton stole the nomination at the Democratic convention away from Bernie Sanders. And so in protest, she gave up her superdelegate. She's resigned as VP of the Democrats, and she basically stayed within the party. But interesting, Tulsi Gabbard, and plus she's still an active officer in our military reserves. So I think it's interesting. But to run as president, I think that's got to be something that none of us, we think it would be so easy. I've teasingly said, if you make me president for one day with executive order, I would fix this country. But in all reality, no, I couldn't. We all say that. It's just like guys said, I'll fight one round with Mike Tyson for $1 million. No, you wouldn't. If it came down to it, he would kill you, even at his age. But we like to say those statements. But she did take a shot at the biggest office in the land, and hats off to her, because that is not something I think I would want to do, is run for president. As much as I love this country, I just don't think I've got the ability, if you will, to deal with all the deep minutia.
We have set up election integrity program. As Laura just mentioned, we are hiring election integrity directors and election integrity councils in all of our battleground states to make sure that we're working with the state governments and the local governments all across the board to get the rules of the road right. Finally! What we want are fair, accurate, secure, and transparent elections, and when we have it, then we're going to protect the sanctity of that ballot. We're going to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat.
Has the planet gone mad?
Now, I would love to believe this. How many of you have thought, what if we could find a way to make sure the elections were fair? But you go back to JFK when he won. They found out afterwards he beat Nixon by a small margin. They found a car in Chicago filled with ballots that would have probably swung that. It was a battleground district that possibly could have gotten Nixon elected. And if you go back and listen to Nixon's checkers speech, I'm in college. I'm a public speaking major, so we had to listen to certain speeches. But if you want to go listen to a great speech, it's called the Checker speech. And this is when television was first being used in politics. Richard Nixon, very young at the time, would talk about his dog named Checkers. So, very interesting. And a lot of folks felt like he had the edge going into that election. And he, being Eisenhower's vice president, he had the experience. He had spent time, in politics prior to that. But, Kennedy took him out. And, of course, a lot of folks love Kennedy. I've got my Kennedy poster up. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That's up on all my shows because I appreciate Kennedy for that. But when you start thinking about today's politicians, I think a lot of us don't see them as honest people.
Yeah, so gas prices at the pump are so important for American families. And a big focus of President Biden, we are pleased that gas prices have come down by $1.40.
What happened?
Relative to that peak that was caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
So blaming Russia again for gas prices going up. And that's where I just got this song for the Biden administration today.
She's going and she's leaving. She's headed for the cheating side of town. You can't hide your lying eye. And your smile is a thin disguise. I thought by now you'd realize there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes.
I don't think there's any way to hide your lying eyes at this point. I think America has been made privy to the deception of the Biden administration. And here's another one that just, I think she's just a complete nut job. Just see what you think. Tammy Duckworth.
What do you say to people who are worried about the economy and might think Donald Trump's better on the economy, but are also worried about the issue of abortion? Do you think one issue trumps, not to use the word trumps, but one issue outweighs the other?
Well, he was terrible for the economy. Thank goodness Joe Biden got into office because Joe Biden put us out of a potential recession.
Tammy Duckworth says that Donald Trump was terrible for the economy, and thank God Biden got in. Got a song for you, lady.
All you are is mean and a liar. Is mean and a liar. Mean and a liar. And pathetic and alone in life and me.
A liar, pathetic, and mean. Yeah, I think that describes most of Biden's people. It's sad. As we're getting ready for the break here, got one more for you.
Did you just parachute in from another planet, Mr. Secretary? Because you're the only person in the Milky Way.
What happened?
Who believes that we're not having massive illegal immigration into America.
Senator Kennedy telling Mayorkas, are you from another planet, basically? Because they keep denying it. But as I mentioned earlier, and we'll bring up later in the next hour, how Biden's finally admitting we've got a border problem. And we've got more illegal aliens now that have crossed the country than 36 of our state's population. There's a huge concern. Some are calling it a slow invasion. I don't know what you think, my friends, but I believe we are interested in truth. And one thing that we're seeing also is there's more and more that's very noticeable. These tests. The FBI did a what if we had a dirty bomb or some kind of a chemical bomb dropped. And they worked with 3 hospitals up in New Jersey during the March Madness. They did a test. What if we had a nuclear bomb drop and fallout? How would we evacuate a big populated area like March Madness? Christopher Wray has gone on the record now 5 times before Congress that there is a possibility that we just might have issues with with foreign actors coming across our border, and so it's something for us to keep in mind. We got Maria Wagner on the phone. Maria, how you doing?
Hey, Macil, doing great. How are you?
I am good. How's things going with Moms for America?
They're going crazy busy. We've got a couple events coming up, one tomorrow night, and I'll be speaking at one in Duluth, Georgia.
Duluth,
over
Georgia.
The weekend.
I've heard of
Yeah.
Duluth, Georgia. That's a name you'll never forget.
I know.
Well, how's Mark doing?
He's doing pretty good. He's upstairs working. I'm downstairs working.
Well, tell him I said hello, and don't forget our car show will be coming up. We'll have to get the Brady Jag back over here, and
oh, absolutely.
have some fun with that. So I was talking to Maria Wagner in the last hour, and we're both amazed at how much Caitlin Clark has impacted women's sports. And with you being in Moms for America, and you saw what Riley Gaines and trying to get in the championship game, and they set a record for the most viewed college basketball game in the Final Four when they played against LSU, and then they broke it again the next week, the national championship, when South Carolina beat them. But even South Carolina's head coach gave tribute to Caitlin Clark and said, "You have raised the sport to another level."
Wow.
Yeah. So when the coach that just beat you acknowledges you as a game changer for all women.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she's white, she's straight, and she's not controversial in politics. And so the WNBA, a lot of them have been a rather unkind to her.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Cheryl Swoops. Now they've had to come back and eat their words, but they've gotten on podcasts and acted like because she broke all the college records this year. She broke the men's and women's scoring records. She scored now more points in college than any man or woman ever.
Oh my gosh!
And
you're saying they're being unkind to her?
Well, not every. I mean, the America loves her, but the WNBA, a lot of players were scoffing and making comments. Sue Bird and different ones because. I don't think they like that because they all lean in a different lifestyle, and they live different private lives than someone like her. She's got a boyfriend that played on Iowa's team. They're very public with their relationship and their affections, and she's from a Christian family. Of course, they had to point out that every now and then she lets a dirty word fly. You can read her lips.
Oh, how dare she?
You know, I mean, what person probably hasn't said a stupid statement? But with all that said, you're with Moms for America, and we've talked about this. It's been a while, but women's sports, just from Title IX and on, why do you think they want to put men in women's sports and in the arena of women to once again almost demean women?
It is so bizarre and so demeaning to women, and I don't understand it. And it's, where are the feminists out there, crying and support of keeping men out of women's sports? I like that coach. I forget what team she coaches for, but she's all for having the trans women in the women's sports.
That's South Carolina. That's the lady that won the national championship, the South Carolina coach.
Okay.
So a lot of people think, because she acknowledged Caitlin Clark on the court when she won the game, and then in her press conference later, I think she's doing damage control. But I will say this. they're so afraid of saying the wrong thing these days.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not trying to justify what she said, but it's like she's backtracked a tad, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, because I think she's gotten a lot of backlash about it.
Well, I've got on the Federalist, I wanted to get your opinion, a survey, most young women hold conservative beliefs but hide them. In a recent now poll, national survey, KA Consulting Group, on behalf of the Claire Booth Luce Center of Conservative Women, reveals the truth and suggests what lies behind the facade of studies that indicate otherwise. Basically, 60% of women polled, young women, Maria, have said they feel they've been brainwashed and intimidated against their natural instincts and maternal instincts about children, being a woman, and being married, but they've been conditioned not to speak out against things that they believe in their heart is wrong. What do you think of that? 60%.
You know, I agree with that, because it's just, I think a lot of fear has been used as a great weapon against people in the bullying, and I do think that's what makes people cower or shy away from and not stand up for their beliefs in family, in, going against the trans ideology. There's just so much of the bullying. I mean, take for example, what Megan Rapinoe did. You know, she spoke out against, I forget the young lady who, I don't know what she retweeted, but she got offended.
Yeah.
And so now this young lady, oh my gosh, all the damage control they have to do. Oh, they offended the LGBTQ community. It just, her words, I mean, and all the bullying, and I think that's why people just don't open up and stand up.
Well, Gabby Marshall, who played for with Caitlin Clark for Iowa, I think it was her that deleted her social media accounts because they were trying to bring up stuff she had said 2 and 3 years ago. And there's always that crazy. Like I have hecklers on my sites, especially now on the Twitter and the Rumble. But I've noticed they're the ones with no pictures and nothing about who they're just nothing but either paid or just idiot trolls that say, I want to harass someone that has conservative views. And that's the beauty of block. When they do, you just block them from your social media. But, to me, that's harassment. I believe if I went around doing that to liberals, they would ban me.
Right.
Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't even have to be something you posted. It's something you retweeted, or that can get you into trouble too.
Well, what do you think about? And I don't know if you heard about this. These FBI guy that came out and he bragged about how they set up Alex Jones, and he's being recorded undercover, and it's at the Gateway Pundit. But breaking undercover video, CIA officer and former FBI payroll. He boasts that we can put anyone in jail and set them up. He says, just like we did Alex Jones and took his money.
Wow, I saw that. I didn't read the whole thing, but I saw that, and it just seems like he was just so willing to share that information. Well, that wasn't James O'Keefe undercover, was it?
I believe it was. Let's see. Sound Investigations. It says breaking CIA officer. Let's see. I got a clip here.
In jail if you know what to do. How? Does the Bureau practice entrapment a lot? Yeah, we get really close. We call it a nudge.
He says we call it a nudge. When they set you up, they can put porn on your phone, on your computer, or a gambling debt, or make you look like a drug user. But
wow.
he's just bragging. If you go to the article, you can watch. I think it's a 7-minute thing. But he says at the beginning, we call it a nudge, meaning it's a lie to defame someone's character. And the FBI, I mean, Elliot Ness and the old, founders of the FBI, we had all this that they were good old guys, and the other thing that just came out, the FBI has been caught about lying about crime statistics. And I shared.
Oh, really?
I shared this yesterday. Yeah, in the BPR, the Business and Politics magazine. Yeah, that they've been jacking up, trying to make crime look like it's going down, to make Biden look like he's doing a better job than Trump did with crime. So they said thousands of cities are either not reporting, or the FBI is not using their statistics to make murder and crime and stuff look like it's actually gone down. That's deceptive.
Oh, it's disgusting. Well, my mom brought up a good point this morning. That's why they have all these soft on crime laws in Chicago. I mean, they're saying crime is going down, and that's not the truth.
Oh, but because they're
But
not
they're just letting them go.
Well, like Alvin Bragg, 70% of his cases, he threw out so he wanted to focus on Trump. 70-some% of his cases of people that were arrested were just told, your case has been dissolved. That's Alvin Bragg in New York.
Wow, 70%.
70%. So, and that was a Blaze Media article a few months ago. So, a new poll shows Latinos sour on Biden and could cost him Arizona and Nevada. This is called by the Daily Wire. But then Reuters just put out, I played the video a minute ago, they're saying that Biden's up 4 points over Trump now in a national poll.
Oh, yeah, right.
Do you believe? I thought Reuters was pretty on the level.
Gosh, I don't know. Where are they getting those from?
I don't. I'm just wondering. Are they going down to crack houses and saying, "Hey, repeat after me"? I don't know. Oh my. By the way, a classic board game dumped down to be more inclusive. Have you heard this?
Oh gosh.
To be less intimidating to young people, classic games that we grew up with, Scrabble, parent company Mattel announced the move Tuesday, the first major change in 75 years. The new version will involve a second side to the board that is collaborative and faster pace to make gameplay more accessible. It's basically for the idiots that can't spell.
Oh my gosh, they just can't leave anything alone, can they?
Scrabble Together was designed to appeal to a younger generation of players who are less interested in competition, I guess because they're all going digital anyway. Mattel said it conducted research that showed Gen Z board games in Britain were less competitive than older generations. So the game speaks to a trend in younger people who want to avoid competitive games, instead favoring teamwork and collaborating because we're all winners.
Oh, what does that remind you of? Everybody gets a trophy, right?
Participation trophy.
There you go.
We're breeding up idiots that will have, they don't want to compete. They think it's unfair, unkind.
Oh, I'm offended.
Yeah. Who would have thought Scrabble? My wife loves Scrabble. When I share this with Jude, she's gonna laugh. But anyway, it says in the new version, gold cards have different challenge levels and offer challenges like play a horizontal word, play a 3-letter word, or play a word that touches the edges of the board. I'm trying to imagine this, but the winner who completes 20 challenges. The loser is the player who uses all their helper cards without completing a challenge. Anyway, Scrabble was founded in 1938. So.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do?
If they keep changing the games and the original ones that you and I have, the value is going to go up. People are going to want those.
What do you do with Monopoly? Just everyone wins. Take out the hotels. Everyone just rolls and see which one you land on to see the pretty colors.
Yeah, you take some of the money away from the winners and spread the wealth out to the others.
No one goes to jail unless your name's Trump.
Yeah. Exactly.
The get out of jail free card probably says if you're Trump,
Except for Trump.
yeah, you go to jail, but everyone else gets out of jail free. Compliments
That's
of
right.
Alvin Bragg and Biden.
There you go.
Oh my. I played this yesterday, and I won't play it now, but I encourage you to listen. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. explains how the Ukraine-Russia war started, and he claims it started under the Obama administration and before. And anyway, he brings up some good facts. I don't know if you heard it, but it's the Howie Mandel podcast. And what's even
Howie Mandel?
This is what's funny. If you watch the podcast, which I did, to see Howie Mandel try to defend his lip-lock liberal friend's views, and he just surrenders.
Really?
His facial, he finally like going, okay, I didn't know this. But at first, he's trying to push back, and Kennedy just keeps giving fact after fact jacks, and Howie Mandel finally goes, I didn't know this. And it's like going, yeah, neither did the rest of us. But he really brings out the evils of Obama. But I bring that out to say, did you hear people thinking that JFK and Trump have made a secret pact that they're going to work their strategies together to take down Biden? Have you heard that?
No. Man, I haven't heard that one at all.
Stinchfield. You know Stinchfield, who used to be the press secretary before? On his podcast, yes, I played it. He mentioned it at first, and it's taken off on some others, saying that, it looks like Kennedy is, because he's going after Biden. He doesn't go after Trump. And Biden is going after Kennedy more than Trump right now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I haven't noticed by Trump saying anything about Kennedy.
What did you hear Kennedy's Easter message?
No.
Oh, it was gospel. I'm telling you, if I didn't know the liberal views he had, he was very impressive. And they had pictures of the empty tomb behind him as he's speaking, the crown of thorns.
Wow.
Very Jesus-y, I'm telling you. And I'm going, hey, Kennedy's going after the Christian, the moderates maybe that don't like Trump. That's what I'm saying. He could pull. I don't think he can beat Trump, but he might be the Ross Perot factor that helped Bush Sr. get beat by Clinton.
Yeah.
Because you remember Clinton only had 43% or 44%, but Ross Perot had 12, if I'm not mistaken, 11 to 12. His double digit is the reason why Clinton didn't have the full majority. He had just enough to beat Bush. And what's interesting, Bush had a 98% approval rating after Desert Storm and lost re-election.
Wow.
And that within a 9-month period. In 9 months, he went from 98 approval rating to losing to Bill Clinton.
How does that happen?
Well, I'm just telling folks, you shouldn't count your chips. Everyone thinks Trump's going to win in a landslide. I don't count out the media and the nefarious people.
Right.
What's Moms for America doing to get the vote out, to get folks registered?
Well, we're doing some walkathons, meaning we're organizing in some of the battleground states about going door to door to get people to vote, encouraging them to vote. And we're also going to be rolling out our congressional report card, where we have given Congress a questionnaire to fill out, and we grade it according to the conservative issues that are on our mama's hearts. And you can look up the grades and see how they scored.
So if there's a mom listening to us right now, and they would like to join Moms for America, on your website, does it tell them the closest one near them?
Well, what they would do is go to momsforamerica.us, and they can fill out the form, and they would check off a box that they're interested in joining a group, and that automatically triggers our education and membership department to reach out to them to see if there's a group in their area.
Well, my friend Harmony from California, one of my listeners, I don't know if you remember, this was over a year ago. Remember, there wasn't one in her area, and so we recommended Moms for Liberty too. But anyway, bottom line, she got involved, pulled her kids out of public schools. She homeschools, and if I'm not
Good.
mistaken, she helped her friend. They started a mom's movement, and I believe if it's not Moms for America, they partner with Moms for America. I've slept since then. But my point is, what you all are doing across the country is uniting women, and also, don't you you guys have that homeschool curriculum to help kids learn their civic lessons? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we have, we have webinars that can teach people how to create your own patriotic curriculum. But we also have a webinar series that's strictly dedicated. We have all kinds of webinars, but our Homeschool Mom to Mom webinar is every single month, and it covers so many different topics to help homeschooling parents.
Well, that's what's the big trend is homeschooling, and
absolutely.
And so you guys really, and also public school now. You guys help if someone runs for public school board. You
Yes.
guys help them develop a strategy, and you've said before, you guys even help them after they win, give them strategies and prayer support and other supports to help them in the battles ahead. Do you have much going on with the school boards in across the country?
Yes, we have. In fact, I just had a parent today call in. I was talking to her, and she was discussing some issues with her school and school board, and I immediately connected her with Dr. Kelly Coles, who is on our team. She is a school board expert, and she travels the country educating parents about school boards. And she's been known, even if you have an issue, she has been known to go and travel to your state and attend your school board meeting with you. I mean, she's the real deal.
Wow.
She knows her stuff. She's very well educated in school boards, and she's helped a lot of parents at Moms for America.
So, what would you say for someone that maybe they're new to the Patriot movement? People are just slowly. Some are getting their belly full and saying, "Hey, I feel my rights are being violated." And of course,
Yeah.
I guess you heard what happened in Congress. They're about to make the Patriot Act look like a Happy Meal. They're going to be able to spy on us without any warrants. A warrantless spying through your social media, etc. I mean, did you see about that?
I think I saw my coworker post something about that.
Let's see if I can find it here. It's on the Gateway Pundit. It's one of my favorite sources.
Mine too.
But it's no. They hate you. Congress gives itself a carve out of FISA warrantless spying bill. Only ordinary Americans like you and I will be spied on. The only way a congressman or senator can be spied on is with their own permission. You have to ask their permission to spy on them.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Governor, or excuse me, hey, Senator, we think you're a spy. Do you mind if we spy on you to find out if you are? That is stupid.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you see where J.P. Morgan scolded Biden about stopping oil and gas production? He says the CEO now, of J.P. Morgan, this is Jamie Dimon, he warns of the danger of stagflation, and he calls out Biden, who has shut down all permits since January. There's been no permits to drill since January. Absolutely none.
Since January.
And so
Wow.
I thought that was big of J.P. Morgan. Do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Do you think they're sensing the Trump wave possibly, and they're trying to get on the good side? Because Trump said the first two
Sounds
things
like
he's
it.
doing, he's going to deal the border and he's going to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like they're trying to, and they sense something, is going on, and they're trying to play nice, maybe.
Yeah, I just, these elites, when they get alone and they start talking and all that, what did you have any thoughts about CERN, CERN, the CERN?
I was wondering what happened. I know they were supposed to fire up that accelerator during the eclipse, but I didn't know if there were any results after that.
Well, Joe Rogan had a scientist on. He called it devil technology, and and so did Elon Musk. He said it's of the devil. Well, I found this this article in the World Economic Forum of all places. 7 things you didn't know about CERN, and this thing is, of course, the largest computer ever made. But let's see, the God particle. Check this out. This guy won a Nobel Prize, Maria, in 1993, he named his book the GD particle. Using damn in God's name. If the universe, he said, the GD particle. If the universe is the answer, what is the question? Well, they realized in 1993 that would not be good, so they shortened it down and called it the God particle. But what they're trying to prove with this, because they've got the ability through magnetic force 100,000 times stronger than gravity. They can pull and twist and push things. They're saying that they're going to prove with their this huge ability to prove that they're studying the dark matter, I guess what they're calling it. They're not only just trying to disprove God, they're trying to use science to prove that there's a deeper force. But the weird thing is Elon Musk brings out is the demonic signs, the statues, and the different things. It's a great, if you go check out on it says Elon Musk says about CERN. It's a great 12-minute view. I recommend anyone to watch it. But anyway,
is that on X?
Yeah, he had it on X, but I have this on YouTube. Elon Musk says CERN's large hardened collider is demonic technology.
Wow. Okay, I'm writing it down.
So this is but he explains how this is huge breakthrough, and it's up in Switzerland of all places. And do you think it's interesting that now that the CERN has been turned back on, because it was off for 3 years, they've turned it back on, and at the same time of it being brought back, they're wanting Switzerland now in NATO. Switzerland used to be known as the neutral place, remember?
Yeah.
That's where everyone's bank account, all your accounts were in Switzerland, Swiss accounts, supposedly not having a side. Well, they're now trying to get them and Ukraine at the same time into NATO. I don't think that's a coincidence, do you?
Yeah, really. I don't think so either. What's the meaning behind it?
Well, Ukraine, if you go to Google and say how many new jobs are being in the Ukraine, and I report on this, over 1,100,000 new jobs or new corporations or businesses are now in the Ukraine province. I thought they were at war.
Right.
Okay.
How is that even possible?
And the Ukraine, of course, has got energy companies there.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember the Romney's son, Paul Pelosi, Nancy's son, of course, Hunter Biden, and some of these other famous people, John Kerry's stepson. They all had high positions in these Ukraine energy companies. Okay, now you're seeing this CERN, this huge energy that's, when you go and study and read about this thing, this is kind of scary energy-wise. It is. It's explaining to me why they're so big on what you call green energy, because this stuff, this magnets and stuff they do, that magnet train they're thinking about putting from Atlanta through Chattanooga to Nashville. Have you heard about that?
No. What is that again?
It's going to be a train. It's going to be pulled by magnets. It's a super train, and it's part of the World Economic Forum money they're giving to Chattanooga. We're going to be a stop from Atlanta to Nashville, but Chattanooga will be in the middle, and this train is going to be like they said. It's going to be so fast. It's going to be unreal, and that's the future, and that's why they say. That's why the petroleum, they see this, as us eventually stepping away like we did from horses, that this new speed travel is going to be the thing. I don't know. But the more you watch these videos on CERN, from both, just looking at from those that are negative and those that are positive, they both are saying one thing for sure: this is fast, big time.
And I wonder, my previous lifetime, I was a technical recruiter, and there is an accelerator in the Chicago area too. I wonder if it's similar technology. Fermi National Accelerator Labs. I wonder if they do the same.
Well, this thing, if you go to the Championship Ministry page on Facebook, one of my followers, Debbie, and I'm going to go there now so I don't misspeak, because when you're on the air, you want to try to not have to give anyone clout for you to mess with you. But, yep, Deb and Daniel and Deb Wilson, What Will Come of CERN? 10 mind-blowing facts that they sent me, and one is I'll tell you that the get down here. CERN is the world's biggest machine, straddling the French and Swiss border. $9 billion.
Wow.
$9 billion to build. And the second is the CERN collider is composed of some 960,000 super magnets, which are 100,000 times more powerful than gravitational pull on Earth.
That's wild.
If you go just download this article, it's on the Macil Duncan Championship Ministry page.
Yeah, I'm reading it as you're talking about it. It's fascinating.
Well, look at point 7, Stephen Hawkins, the second paragraph. The God particle found in CERN could destroy the universe. And Stephen Hawkins, he's not like super preachy kind of Christian guy, and for him to say that, and he gives a warning that they could open up a black hole of energy that could destroy the universe.
Wow.
And number 6.
Do you really think they have that capability?
This is just one of the many articles. It's got something, because here's the thing: the media is not talking about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, when the media doesn't talk about something,
when they don't pay attention to something, that means we need to pay attention to something.
Right. They want they want barges and boats to hit bridges. They want things to happen to keep us distracted. But this was going on January during the solar eclipse. They re-upped it, and they had satanic objects and other mantras that were very disturbing and to come across as demonic. So if it wasn't for Elon Musk once again putting it on X, I don't think we all would have paid attention to it.
Right.
I mean, I may have missed it, but I checked all the news cycles. I didn't see anyone talking about this. And the reason they wanted to do it during the eclipse is there's some dark magic. It's very mysterious, this dark energy, they call it, and dark magic. So there's something that comes across demonic in their objectives.
Yeah, when you look at these symbols, too. I mean, I'm looking at your article.
Yeah, isn't that weird looking, that Hindu lady?
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of looked freaky.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't want that in front of my building, but that's in front of their headquarters.
I'm also looking at part of your article, and it is listing Fermi Lab and Argonne Labs in Illinois. Those were two of my clients years ago.
So you're a satanic person, okay?
CERN locations in the U.S. I had to provide engineers for those guys.
Well, there's a lot of good people like you that they don't know they don't know all the details. But like I said, if it hadn't been for Elon, and then on Joe Rogan, he had one of the scientists on that said this is satanic technology. So,
wow.
I'm going, why weren't the mainstream media covering this? The mainstream media just little blips. I'm probably about, the positives, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you said you've gone through the news cycles and you haven't seen them mention anything about CERN.
I've tried for 2 days. Jolene Carter sent me some stuff, and then when the Williams sent this to me too, Daniel and Deb, I thought, okay, that's something. These are two of my most faithful followers over the last 3 years. For them to send me stuff, this is some jacked up stuff. because I get a lot of stuff sent to me. I can't always look at all of it. I try to, but when multiple people send me something, I'm going, okay, there's a reason for this, and yeah, this CERN stuff is very. I mean, this is powerful stuff. This looks very futuristic, and they also, if you read the article, claim that they're the ones that founded the internet. It wasn't Al Gore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was founded through CERN so that scientists could communicate globally.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It's a great article, lots of fact jacks, but as you see as you start, and they're not Christian-based people, so I could see where the Antichrist could use. It's the biggest machine, but it's built underground.
Yes.
So, and if you noticed, Zuckerberg and a lot of elites are building underground bunkers again.
Oh, really? That's coming up again?
Yeah, especially out in Hawaii. Oprah and a lot of the elite, they're having underground bunkers built again.
Gosh.
So interesting stuff.
You think that's connected to this somehow?
Well, New Jersey National Guard did a weapons of mass destruction hypothetical search for nuclear bombs during the March Madness here in New Jersey just a few weeks ago. A hypothetical.
Interesting.
And the FBI did a hypothetical. What if we had a nerve agent or something dropped in? So in Oregon, they had 3 hospitals. The FBI did a what if we had some kind of a nerve agent breakout and we had to, use public hospitals for the masses.
Oh, that's scary. I think I did read a headline that they were doing some kind of a drill, a practice.
And then Christopher Wray, I sound like a broken record, but 5 times he's warned Congress that because of the open border, we have sleeper cells. He said they can be triggered.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think there's going to be something that's going to happen, possibly if Iran attacks Israel or Israel attacks Iran. Because they're both threatening again. You know?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. But have you noticed how what'd you think about the protest up at the Senate building? You know, they blocked a cafeteria and says Senate doesn't. If Gaza doesn't eat,
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, they said if Gaza doesn't eat, the Senate doesn't eat. So hundreds of kids blocked the Senate. They also stopped proceedings in some of the chambers. Not one arrest. Do you think Schumer?
Wow, was that today?
Yeah. I played some of the clips earlier. I'd play it, but when our phone line's not hooked up yet, you couldn't hear it. So I hate to you'd be lost. But yeah, Fox News, several of them have covered it. So says the Capitol Police asked them to disperse and leave, and they refused. And no arrest. They're all up there just saying, phooey to you. But Schumer is the leader of the Senate. It's the Senate, not the Capitol. So the Senate House and their largest cafeteria is blocked, and they blocked some other meeting or broke up some meetings. So here's the thing. Schumer has come out and said Netanyahu needs to, he scolded him and acted like he either needs to resign or be open to that new election they're calling for, even though he has 2 years left in his term. And so you wonder, because Biden's losing on so many categories, they're really concerned, I think, about the Arab Americans that are anti-Israel. I don't know if you saw some of the reports, but some of them are threatening to do a protest vote for Kennedy or Trump because they are very disappointed that Biden is so pro-Israel.
I don't understand that because he was telling them to cease fire a few days ago.
Right, but they want total withdrawal. So
okay.
So that's where I think, I could be wrong, but I think where Biden is, because he's trying to buy the young vote with this. I mean, how many times has he been told it's illegal for him to mess with the student loans, but he keeps doing it anyway?
Oh gosh, yeah, exactly.
Okay, now he's all of a sudden we've never had a president try to scold or tell Israel what to do before, until now.
Yeah. Right.
So he's obviously responding to because even James Carville, you remember he was Clinton's campaign manager. He's the one that said it's the economy, stupid. He's gone out on several podcasts and said Biden's going to lose. He's lost the young Hispanic males along the young black males, and he's losing professional women. He went down the list that Biden's having challenges. He's losing ground in all these areas. So.
Well, I'm hoping that people are finally, like you and I, and a lot of people say, finally waking up and just seeing that, yeah, if you're losing the Hispanic males or, the black population, or, it's because they can see how he truly doesn't care about any demographic, but himself, and what he's doing with the open borders and how it's draining our resources here for our Americans.
Well, then I gotta come back around to another topic related. What is your view on Speaker Johnson?
Oh, I don't know. My husband and I, we talk about, why did he vote the way he did for the omnibus bill? And it's like, I'm not sure. I'm at a loss for words.
Well,
it's like, is it part of strategy or what?
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene was asked by Tucker Carlson, do you think he's being blackmailed? And she said, I wouldn't be surprised. But for Marjorie Taylor Greene calling to impeach him, and we're only, we're less than 6 months out now to an election. I'm thinking, do we want that drama? I mean, that's awful drastic. So I've wondered, he must have made some huge shifts for Marjorie Taylor Greene to push that, because I don't see how that's beneficial to her or the Republican Party as far as votes.
Yeah, what does she know? I mean, that's a good point.
It must be a true character issue that she just says, hey, come hell or high water, I'm going to stand for right. And this guy has really gone back on his word or something. We don't know.
Right.
The young lady from TPUSA that worked with us on the biblical citizenship class. Nicole. She told us, I don't know if you remember, when she worked in the finance office for the GOP, she said it would turn your stomach, the money that was spent for their private parties, their golf outings, their retreats. The American people will be shocked at the money that they spend, and she just used the word for other things. And I don't know, she was on my radio show and said that. Well, TPUSA contacted and asked me to take it off the air.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, so I asked them, I said, what if this doesn't sound like anything other than Charlie Kirk would say? Is it because she's a female? Or why would you? And of course, I didn't win any points with. I got uninvited to a pastor's meeting in Nashville, but that I don't care. I thought that was very sexist of them to try to censor Nicole for things that I could see Charlie Kirk saying, and I like Charlie Kirk.
Well, so do I. But why? I mean, like you said, it's something he would typically say on one of his shows. So what are they? Why do they want to censor her?
Well, she called and begged me if I would take it down. I said, well, did you lie? No. I said, was anything untrue? She goes, no. I said, no, I won't take it down. And that show's still out there, and it's it's gotten tons of views. But my point being, so she got a little. She didn't name names, but she was a little graphic that, the GOP. So it's not my point. It's not just the DNC that's corrupt.
Right.
I think we know there's a uniparty, and we all had high hopes that Speaker Johnson was going to be a breath of fresh air, and maybe he was for a short stint. But I've also been told by another person in D.C. that Matt Gaetz isn't the shining white knight we've been told. That he can be a little.
Oh, please no.
And I said,
I was just reading what he posted on X. He says, "Come fly with the privacy hawks," and he does hashtag FISA.
Well, Well, this is what I told this person that said that. Of course, this person leans center. He thinks Matt Gaetz is nothing but an attention grabber. I said, well, let me tell you this. I have to raise a lot of money for my food pantry. You know, and I said a lot of folks have labeled me that I like the camera because I do a lot of Facebook, I do a lot of interviews and stuff. I said, so I'm not going to go there. I said, is there anything about Matt Gaetz that's truly immoral, illegal? And this guy said, well, I don't know if you'd approve of all of his choices. I said, well, you probably wouldn't approve of all mine. So I think he backed down. But my point is, D.C. probably is a hard place to live.
Oh, for sure.
And your mom's for America. Do you ever go to D.C. with all your adventures?
Oh, gosh, yeah, a lot.
Do you ever hear stories of, I guess you've heard of the Netflix series about the house there where the Republicans and Democrats have gone, and it's hosted a lot of sex parties and drug parties.
Oh, gosh. No, that's a Netflix series?
I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but yeah, it's something about something house. And it came out during the mayor election because one of the mayor candidates' father is in the documentary. But but to be fair, I don't know if it's true, so I don't want to mention names. But
okay.
The point is I have watched the documentary, and it shows high-profile Republican and Democrats this supposed if it's the House, but you know. But anyway, let's change gears. We've maybe scared the bejeebies out of our audience here today. Did you hear what Kennedy said to Mayorkas? Asked him if he flew in from another planet.
If he what?
If he flew in from another planet.
No, I didn't hear that one.
Oh, it was hilarious. And I would play it, but you can't hear it. But I played it this segment before you came on. If you want to go back and listen to it, but he and I played it yesterday 2 or 3 times. It is so funny. Kennedy cracks me up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so my point going there is that Kennedy, for the most part, every now and then he'll vote for something I'm not crazy about, but he's from he's from Louisiana. You know, you got Steve Johnson from Louisiana, and I think there's another good conservative up there from Louisiana. And the governor is Democrat. Am I right?
Gosh, I don't know.
I think the Democrats stole the governorship because there was a low turnout in 2020. But here's the thing: the state of Louisiana voted in their state legislature to that if the WHO or the World Economic Forum or any of them try to do some global laws to supersede our national laws, they're saying they will not comply. That they will follow only.
Oh, I did see that.
And so that tells me, with Kennedy and hopefully Johnson, I'm hoping Johnson turns it around because I still have some hope for Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
I could be totally in la la land on this, but I'm going somewhere. I'm going to ask you, who do you think would make, if Trump wins big in 2024 and he does get a red wave, because everyone keeps asking about his vice president. I'm more concerned who will be replace Mitch McConnell and be the leader for the Senate, because that's who your judge appointments are going to go through.
Oh yeah.
And all his nominations for his cabinet. We need someone strong, and I like Marsha Blackburn.
Yes.
Don't you think Marsha? I think it's time they have a lady, because Nancy Pelosi was the female leader of the House. It'd be nice if they had a female leader of the Senate. And I think Marsha Blackburn, she's paid her dues. She's been through Congress on the state level and in the national level, and then she went on to be a senator. I think Marsha Blackburn would be a great fit, because she supports Trump, has been very fair,
yes.
and she knows what a woman is, even though Jackson didn't. I mean, she think about it. She stood tall.
She's a good Christian woman. Yeah,
She stood
I like
tall.
that idea.
So that's what. Can you think of anybody else other than Marsha Blackburn you think they'd be better to take Mitch's place?
I don't know about better necessarily, but if you're talking about a strong woman, I'm thinking MTG as well.
Well, she's in the House. You got to be in the Senate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. Yeah. Now, not being gender crazy. Josh Hawley is good in the Senate, and you got Senator Tuberfield, the former coach. But my only concern about them is they're both been up there a while, and they have great conservative values. But I think Marsha has been there longer, and that's just my opinion. So next time you're at Mar-a-Lago and you're talking to Trump, tell him the Patriot pastor said, "Hey, you ought to look at Marsha."
Absolutely.
Where's your next adventure? Where are you going next?
Well, it's funny you should mention Tucker Carlson. I won't be there because I'm going to be going to Duluth, Georgia, but we are having an event with him, and we'll be able to interview him and have him on our podcast very, very soon.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I like Tucker. I mean, he's like he took the red pill. He has become such a truth teller, even more so than when he was on Fox. Don't you think?
Yeah, because now he's got free. There's no reins on. There's nobody tying him down,
and
muzzling him.
I think between him and Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, I think they've helped pull Joe Rogan back away from the dark side, back towards the middle, and leaning to the right. Do you see that?
I haven't watched a lot of his shows, but I see who's on there, and I would agree to that because he's had some pretty conservatives on there.
Well, I'm just saying, and he just went off the other day. It's on the Gateway Pundit. He still uses foul language. I can't play a lot of his clips because he drops the F-bomb too much. But he talks about, he goes, them B itches is what I'll leave it that way. He goes, I didn't take a horse warming drug because, he was a big ivermectin supporter during the pandemic. And they went after him. But he did his own research, just like Aaron Rodgers did, and said, listen, I don't want to harm my body with shots. You won't tell me what's in them.
Exactly.
And so there's this little scare saying that the World Health Organization, they're putting out a little bit of soft sell scare that there may be a new bird flu.
Yes.
And people are afraid that they're going to try to shut down the nation before the election. Do you see that happening, or would you be surprised if they try that?
They reek of desperation with everything they've already tried, and nothing has succeeded for them. So I wouldn't be surprised, but let's just pray to our Lord that the American people wouldn't even think of falling for anything like that.
Well, I'm with you. I really hope. Of course, Bill Gates set up at Davos. I think this past January, he was asked some question. I can't remember the exact question, but in disgust, he's was the pandemic successful, or the pandemic and the lockdown successful? He goes no, it didn't go long enough or far enough. He goes, it's because them Americans, 73% would not follow, and we had to back down. And it's
Who interviewed him? You said this is in Davos. He said that.
It looked like Davos. It was one of those because all the elites. He was in a panel, and the others looked at him like, "You just said major truth there," but you could tell he was pissed because, and it's rather. I've played it on my show before. I'll try to find it and send it to you. But for Bill Gates to look frustrated, and then Zelensky said this year, he goes, Trump is living rent free in all their minds. Zelensky said that. He goes, they're all worried about Trump winning in 2024 and how it'll stop the global, takeover. And I could see that. I could see that would freak him out. because if Trump gets in, you know, he is he's a nationalist, not a globalist, and he stopped us from the Paris Accord and so many other things.
Yep.
If he gets in,
I remember that.
and this time he's going to know a little more about who's for real and who's not.
Yes.
I think they're afraid he's going to. I mean, of course, he said the best revenge is success. But I think he's going to kick some butt when he gets back in.
Oh my gosh, I'm right there with him. I'm ready to kick.
What do you think about
Let's do it.
What do you think about Ken Paxton from Texas being his over the FBI and the Justice Department?
I remember you talking about that, and he would be perfect for that.
I think someone says Kash Patel. I don't think Kash Patel's got the zippity. Ken Paxton is a much more seasoned lawyer. I'd rather see Ken Paxton.
Ken Paxton loves the Mama Sue because we've done press conferences with him and have worked with Ken, and his wife just came to speak at our summit. So we really like Ken.
Okay, now Maria, we got 4 minutes. Who is your vice president pick? If you were whispering in Trump's ear today, who would you tell him? Who has anything changed since we've last talked about this?
No, nothing has really changed. You know, I mean, we have talked about MTG. We have talked about Tucker. Gosh, I wrote down a few more, and I can't remember.
Kristi Noem or someone with some governing experience.
Oh yeah, or oh my gosh, why is my Huckabee Sanders?
Oh, Sarah Huckabee. Woo, buddy. You know what I'd love to see about her being VP is because her father, when he ran for president, the GOP treated him pretty bad. And
really?
Oh yeah, but he was him and McCain were neck and neck. Well, they brought in Fred Thompson late. He came into the to the presidential race, and his job, all he did was hack at Huckabee every debate. And next thing you know, once Huckabee started losing a few states, he withdraws from the. So he came in late and left early, and his job was nothing but to help out McCain, and I was disappointed because I think Huckabee would have been a much better debater and candidate against Obama. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
He was so sharp on his feet. He was a great governor too at Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
And so I'd love to see Sarah Huckabee continue to do well because the GOP didn't. But their big beef because he was a Southern Baptist preacher, and they thought he was too preachy coming across that way. So. Well,
okay.
Well, we're about to say goodbye for the day. Maria, thanks for coming on. And
thank you.
And again, how can folks find Moms for America again?
They can find us at Moms, plural, MOMS, FOR America.us. And you can just look at all of our resources, all of our webinars and classes. Sign up for our newsletter to just be in the know and know what's going on and know what we're gonna be doing next.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. And Maria, God bless, Godspeed. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you, Macil. God bless you too.
God bless you, my friends. This is today's